Weekdays, 12:30 Eastern Time. Welcome to Cars from Home Live. This is episode 1. Now, you may notice it's not, at the time you're listening, it's not 12:30 Eastern Time because me and Dolan have been preparing for a while. But Monday through Fridays, we will be coming live for Cars from Home live Monday through Friday. So I could not be more excited to welcome you. And the name of this episode, this is episode 1. It's a foundational episode. Is throw my cheat sheets away. Throw Deshone's cheat sheets away. Now, currently, we are streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Now, I do have to say, we're on every platform, or all 4 of those. But for the best experience, you want to hop over to either Deshone the Auto Advisor YouTube channel or Deshone the Auto Advisor Facebook channel, because there's going to be things we show on the screen that you can't see unless you are actually on one of these platforms. So Monday through Friday, again, 12:30 Eastern Time. Set your clocks. We will be replaying the show throughout the day. For those who couldn't make it, we'll replay it maybe 3 times. We'll clearly let you know it's a replay. But sometimes you'll be able to get value out of the show, even though it's not live. But please, we encourage you to set your reminders. Now, we have a lot to discuss. Episode 1, I'm going to be answering some questions. But why is the name of this episode Throw Deshone's Cheat Sheets Away? And Dolan is going to be bringing all your comments into the show. So, you know, whether it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, start typing your content. Just let me know you're here. Let me know you're watching whatever platform. And Dolan will be bringing a lot of your comments into the show. So why? Because the cheat sheets ruined a lot of people. And I gotta say this. My name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. For those who don't know me, I was in the car business. I've been in the auto industry since 2005. And 2006 actually. So, and I thought that when I came to social media to help, you all buy cars, I left the industry. I thought it was about learning, but it wasn't. It wasn't about learning. It's about telling you what's going to get you to the result you want, which is to pay less for a car than everyone else is paying. That is the result. If somebody's getting the same car as you, the goal is to pay less than everyone. You don't want someone to have paid less than you for the same type of car. So the cheat sheets, and over 70,000 people have my free cheat sheets, but it's a new day. Now we have the Cars from Home 90-minute checklist, and it's totally free. That's what we are going to be discussing. And as you hear, for those who have the cheat sheets, or even as you hear about them, you're going to just hear how the free checklist is so much better, so much more effective in helping you get to the result you want, which is a below market car deal in about 90 minutes. Okay, I know that's a big claim, but that's what we do here. So again, if you are watching live, please let us know where you're watching from. Let us know where you're listening from. If you're driving, do not type. We need you to be safe. If you're driving, do not type, but let us know where you're watching from as we get started. So again, I'm just tagging my different pages and we'll get down to the real deal. You can start typing your questions in no matter where you are. I do have my man Dolan. Good to see you when in Rome, Charleston, South Carolina. Shout out to Charleston, South Carolina, watching live. Again, Dolan's going to be bringing a lot of your comments into the show because we're going to, New York, DJ Ant Nice. Good to see you. You're live on episode 1. So thank you so much, everyone who's checking in for episode 1. And let's see. Let me just tag here. And let's get going. Okay. Long Island. A lot of people watching from New York. Okay. A lot of people checking in from New York. Okay, so now you'll see here. Now, for those who don't know, you can get these. You can get my new checklist. It is brand new. It's called the Cars from Home 90-minute car deal checklist, and you can get it absolutely free by going to carsfromhometoolkit.com. Carsfromhometoolkit.com, and you'll be able to grab it. I have it on a banner here on Facebook or YouTube, depending on where you're watching. I have it on a banner so that you know where to get your free cheat sheet. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I want to dive into this. Again, if you hang around me, you're going to pay less for everybody, less for cars than everyone. That's just what I'm known for. Those who are near New Jersey, any dealership I used to work for, I worked for Mercedes-Benz for 5 years. I worked for General Motors for 5 years. And what I am known for is just this. You know, even when I was in the car business, I didn't look at myself as just a salesman. I looked at myself as an advisor. Highly sophisticated financial conversations that we're having when we're talking about cars. We're talking about multiple ways to acquire a car. So in order for us to do that and make sure we save every bit of money we can and all the time we should be saving, you don't wing it. You don't wing any other process. You don't wing spending $10,000 on any other thing, but you'll go in, we'll make a $30, $50, $100,000 decision on a car in a weekend with very little strategy. So that's not what we're going to do anymore. We're gonna talk about a process. So when we and the key is a GPS style process. See, you don't have to know everything about cars to get to where you want to go here. You need to, just like with a GPS, you don't need to know exactly every turn you're gonna make. You just need you need to know where we want to go. And when we look at what the 90-minute checklist is, let's open page 1. So you'll see at the beginning is most people think buying a car means negotiating. It does not. In fact, I stand to reason to you that buying a car, the people who get the best deals do not negotiate. Now, I know that sounds crazy. We're going to flip this on its head. The people that get the best deals do not negotiate. They create competition. So they create competition. Now, once you learn how to use the internet, the internet that we've been gifted with, that we've been blessed with to create competition, you're going to save more money on cars than you have ever saved before. That's just, and you're going to do it in less time. So the difference. So we've been helping a ton of people. For those who don't know, if this is your first, if you've gotten a car with the Cars from Home process, let us know in the chat. But just to give you an idea, we've been helping people get cars from home, pay less than everyone since 2021. Since 2021, people like Benita here, Kimberly here. Sean saving $20,000 on his F-150 Lightning. People like Marie here. We've been doing this. If this is your first time ever watching us, type a 1 in the chat. I just want to welcome you. If this is your first time seeing me, Deshone the Auto Advisor, in the capacity of cars, again, this is the commemorative episode of episode 1. Good to see you, Deb, on TikTok. Good to see you checking in for the first time. If this is your first time, I want to welcome you. Just type a 1 in the chat. But I want you to know we're not new here. The Cars from Home process has been around since 2021 officially. Be it in my book, Cars from Home, be it we. So what we're talking about here is it's not an experiment. What you're going to hear about on this show, this 90-minute car deal process, is not let's try this out and see if it works. We have people like Jeff who have gotten 5 cars. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Jeff has gotten his 5th car He said, my wife and I are graduates again, got this 2026 Honda Pilot Trail Sport with an MSRP of $52,380 for $623 down, $623 a month, which is a 1.19% lease deal. Now, I don't want you to figure out all of this stuff about, if you don't know about the lease percentages yet, again, be patient. We're going to get to that stuff as we go through what's in the free checklist. But I want you to know, I want you, for episode 1, for those of you who are like, I've never saw this guy, Deshone the Auto Advisor, before, I just want to know a little bit about me, that I'm not, that I was from the car business, left in 2021 to focus on teaching because I was, unfortunately, I couldn't do what I wanted to do in teaching the public and still be in a car dealership. There was many times I got called into the general manager's office or the sales manager's office concerning my videos. And so so that's the key, that this process was created by a former car salesman to help you pay less than everyone else in about 90 minutes. Car buying should not be taking you 5 hours, 10 hours, 2, 3, 4 days. It shouldn't, not when you do it this way. Okay. And we have enough people for you to hear from, or that you'll see, to let you know there's a lot of people doing things in a different way. But again, we are live, just for everyone who may be new here. We will be live Monday through Friday at 12:30. So as you watch, you might not be in a position to ask questions right now, but if you want to ask questions on our live show, you can meet us, set your clocks, set your alarms, 12:30 Eastern time. We're live streaming on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And we invite you to, if you really want the best experience, to subscribe on YouTube or Facebook, because that's where we're going to be posting a lot of the archives. You'll be able to go back, catch shows that you missed. You'll be able to see different questions, different summaries as we make them, as we cut them down. That's where your best experience is going to be. Okay, so now that we got pretty much the housekeeping out of the way, Stephanie, welcome. Good to see all the first-time people checking in, putting ones in the chat. And so you can ask your questions. I will be discussing this free checklist throughout the show. It's going to be about 90 minutes. But as we get more questions coming in, Dolan will put them up on the screen and we will answer them one by one. So begin to type your questions in. No matter whether you're watching us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, type your questions in and Dolan will be pulling them into the show. And if you want to help some people, share the show with a friend. Share the show with a friend, because they're going to get a lot of value out of this next couple minutes we spend together, especially if they are in the market for a car, or they will be very soon. Okay, so what was that first question that we got? I think we got something on TikTok. I'll take, let's have our first question of episode 1, Cars from Home Live. Let's see. All right, this is from Stan Sink. Got to get help with you for help with a lease. Okay, so let's ask a specific question, and then Dolan will pull in a specific question. Good to see you, Brownie. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's giving gifts and stars. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And make sure you tell your friends Deshone the Auto Advisor is live Monday through Fridays at 12:30 for about 90 minutes. All right. Returning my lease for another. I have 22,000 miles on it, and I was allotted 36,000. What should I say? So you shouldn't say anything. We'll go and open up our checkbook, on our checklist, and what we'll see here is you're at step 2. This is a step 2 question. The Cars from Home process is a 7-step process, and the first thing we're going to do now is we need to know our equity position. We need to know, before you shop for your next vehicle, you need to know where you stand with your current vehicle. Equity can become hidden money. This is very important. Equity can become hidden money. Negative equity can become a hidden problem. So if you let's keep reading. You want to choose your situation right now. This is step 2. If you are going to be shopping for a vehicle soon, but you do not have a vehicle, you're not replacing a vehicle, this is when you can skip to step 3. So who's going to be shopping for a vehicle soon, they're not replacing a vehicle, they're just going to be adding a vehicle to the household. If you're going to be shopping for a vehicle, say over the next either now, 3 months, 6 months, but you are not replacing a vehicle, you are just adding something to your household, type me in the chat. Type me in the chat. So once now, if this is you, you can actually check that part. I can skip this step and move on to step 3. Big Stormy. Okay, perfect. Stephanie, I see you. Cynthia. So when you open up your checklist, when you got to that step about knowing your equity position, that's non-applicable for you. So you can I can skip this step and move to step 3. Now, for those of you who are actually replacing a vehicle, you want to be, you want to look at situation 2. I own or finance my current vehicle, or situation 3, I'm replacing a lease. So that is the situation that I believe Jen is in. I may have mispronounced your name. Maybe it's Jean. Okay, so now what we want to look at, most people think they have to turn their lease in. That is not always true. Here's what you want to do. Here's what's on your checklist. You're going to call your leasing company, get your payoff amount. You're going to get online cash offers. You're going to check whether your lease has positive equity in it. You're going to check whether you can sell the lease or exit early. So if your lease has positive equity, and thank you to everyone who's double tapping the screen on TikTok. As you double tap the screen, you see the likes go up, and TikTok brings more people over to watch the show. And thank you to everyone who's sharing the show with a friend. Thank you, Stephanie. And so now we want to see, I can't tell you the amount of people who don't know that you can actually sell your lease. If you did not know that you can sell a lease, that you can have equity in a lease, that you can potentially pull money out, you can drive a car for 2 or 3 years, and if it has equity, you can actually pull money out of that lease. Here's an example. You have, this is Marie or Mary Ellen. Just got her Mazda CX-5 Preferred Edition, $415 a month, no money down. As you watch the show, you're going to learn a lot that everything we shop for, purchases, leases, is always with no money down, no exceptions. She said, I sold my 2023 Acura Integra lease back to a dealership because of the third-party restriction and made $3,900. Check to come once they receive the title from Acura Financial. So she assessed her equity. She found out that the cash offers she got on her car were higher than the payoff. She ended up pocketing $3,900 at the end of her lease. So, yes, good to see you, Julia. She said, I haven't seen you in a while. I think my daughter will be getting a car soon. Well, this is where she wants to be, and she wants to start out with my new checklist. It's called the Cars from Home 90-minute deal checklist. I'm going over a little bit right here, and everyone who's going to be in the market for a car soon, you should tell your friends to come listen to Deshone the Auto Advisor here at Cars from Home Live, Monday through Friday, 12:30 Eastern Time. Or they can catch one of the replays throughout the day. We usually will replay the show at least 3 times throughout the day for those who can't catch us live. But it's great to see you as well, Julia. So what you'll see is we're assessing our equity. When you when you download your free checklist, what you're going to see is you're now shopping with a process. It doesn't matter your deal type. It doesn't matter if you're going to be leasing or purchasing new cars or used car. You're going to be going through this process step by step, checking things off your checklist all the way up until you pick up your car. And a big part of the things we check off our checklist, you'll see we do our equity assessment early. So that's what you want to be doing right now. You want to be finding out. You don't want to just be going to return your car to the dealership. By the way, if you want to get your free checklist, you can, because we're streaming on 4 platforms right now. We're streaming on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, Monday through Friday. If you want to go get your free checklist, click the picture of me, click the profile picture of me on Instagram or Facebook, and go right to my bio, which is the carsfromhometoolkit.com. Click that link, and then click where it says, get my free checklist. Put in your first name and your email. I'll email you the checklist right away. This will be in your inbox in minutes. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, Dolan has a comment posted for you all in the chat. Just click below and you can go to carsfromhometoolkit.com and download your free 90-minute car deal checklist. That's the foundation. That's where you want to start at, and you'll see you'll see how we do things to get to pay less than everyone else in about 90 minutes. Okay, but that's what you want to do. Find out what your equity is. Find out what your equity is, and that's step one. That's what you want to do there. Don't let a dealership tell you how much equity that you may have, or no. Go get your call your leasing company for your payoff. Get your online cash offers. You want to get at least five, because you'll see as Carvana, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book cash offer, Car Guru's cash offer, We Buy Any Car. You'll see there's various different prices. We do this step in about 20 minutes. This takes us about 20 minutes, and as you can see from me talking about Mary Ellen, sometimes this will make you anywhere from $1,000 at the end of your lease up to we've had people make several $1,000s selling leases at the end. Now every lease doesn't have equity, so let's be clear here. But you never want to return a lease without equity. Even Rosalie, you'll see here the cherry on top, when she was getting multiple cars using the Cars from Home system, she's actually gotten 4, and you haven't gotten 1 yet. Think about that. Rosalie has gotten 4 cars using the Cars from Home process, and you haven't gotten 1 yet. She hasn't gone into the dealership. She's getting insane deals from home, from her computer, and making dealers compete. And here's the cherry on top. She says she sold 2 leases as she was replacing 2 of her 4 cars, and walked away with $6,737 in equity that she didn't know she had before she started doing our equity assessment. Okay, so go download your free checklist right now. That's where you want to be to get started on our 7-step process. You're going to love it. It's truly transformational. So, okay, we can continue typing questions. Again, we are live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And let's go. What's the real first step? Dolan will keep gathering your questions, but let's go. What's the real first step? Decide whether to purchase or lease. You want to use our Cars from Home 8-year rule calculator. Now, we used to explain this, but now we have a calculator that does the explanations. We have a calculator that does the explanations, and we have many Cars from Home calculators that do things that no other calculator does at all, and that's why we had to invent them. In our 7-step process, we have roughly probably 7 or 8 different custom calculators. This is one of them, the Cars from Home calculator, and we can see here that it's going to tell you what we call the 8-year total true cost of ownership. Who was taught you should never lease a car? Type me in the chat. If you were taught never lease a car, type me in the chat. Let's just get a consensus. No matter who we're talking to, who I'm talking to, the amount of people who were taught never lease a car, leasing is a waste of money, it's scary. And what you're going to see is, unfortunately, the people who taught you these things, if you're not a long-term buyer, good to see you, Finalike. If you're not a long-term buyer, you're going to see, using our 8-year rule calculator, truly how much money you have been throwing away by not leasing. So let's just say, for example, the vehicle you're looking at is roughly $40,000. And I just want to tell you, because y'all may not be used to this type of show, the way to get the most out of this, unless you're driving, is to make sure you are locked in for, if you're locking in for, say, 15, 20 minutes, you may be watching this on your break. you may be you just locked in because you truly care about your money. If you truly care about your money, I want you to type $signs into the chat. Type $signs, because unfortunately I can't help anyone. We can't help anyone who doesn't take their money seriously. They're okay overpaying. They're okay. They kind of put their hand over their eyes and hope everything's gonna be okay. Okay, Cynthia. Okay, fine. Like, I see you. Okay, these are DJ Ant Nice. I see you. Like, we want to continually talk to the people who care about their money, and you are the people we can help all day long. So, but you have to lock in. If you lock in for 15, 20 minutes, hear what we're doing, go get your free checklist, you are on a path. You are already ahead of 95% of people who are shopping for a car. Just by locking in for 20 minutes, asking a couple questions to make sure that you can get a foundational understanding, and then going to my bio or going to the comments, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, going to Cars from Home Toolkit, getting your free checklist, and that's the way you're going to start this next car. You go in tomorrow to trade in your car. So now, the reason why, let's just take this down. Hang on. Hang on, this is very important. Okay, so the reason why I find like that's not the best idea is because if you haven't gotten bids, how do you know that what they're offering you on trade is the most money that you could have gotten? That's what we need to know. If you have not gotten bids, you don't know if that's the most money you could have gotten. And most times, it's not going to be. It's not going to be. So you need to, hold on, sorry. So now, how did you find this car? Like, you're going to trade in your car. How did you find this car? Because you don't really get the most money for anything trading it. It doesn't matter if I had this hat and I was going to trade this hat for somebody's, I'm thirsty, I want a bottle of water. It doesn't matter. When you start trading stuff, it depends on who needs it more, who's more in a position of desperation, and that's not how you get the most money for something. Now, if I put this hat on the open market and I had a chance to see a bunch of people what they would pay for it in 20 minutes, then I can say I'm getting the most money for the hat. So what we have now is we have the ability to go on websites like Car Gurus, like CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book, Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, CarMax, We Buy Any Car, and we can get cash offers on our car in 20 minutes. We can get cash offers in 20 minutes. That's step 2 of our process. Let me reshare my screen, because this again falls. It's so many people that get stuck that don't know about step 2. Because we've been so used to trading in our cars, we don't assess the equity that is in our car. A car is our asset. It belongs to us. If it's worth more than you owe on it, you can actually sell it and you can keep the difference. Who didn't know that you can sell a car that you have a loan on? You may have been taught. Who was taught, I have to pay off my car first. I have to wait for the title to come in. I used to, when I was at the dealership, people would come right over to me and say, Deshone, hey, is that the new one? And and I'm like, yeah, that's the new version. Just came out this year, or just came out a couple months ago. And they'll say something like, all right, I got 3 more payments on mine, and then I'm gonna come and see you about this one. So they thought they had to actually pay off their old car before they could get their new car. They thought they had to wait for the title, not realizing that they can actually call their bank, get their payoff, which is the amount they owe, and then they could get cash offers, be it from the dealership or be it from these online buyers, and they can sell that car to the highest bidder tomorrow. And there's no advantage. There's usually no advantage to waiting until your car is paid off before you go trade it in or before you replace it. Because if you are a person who, and I want you to be honest, if we're going to really, really make all the money we want to make, if you are truly ready to make your next car deal, your easiest car deal, your best car deal, you save the most money you ever saved, you save the most time, you get the car deal done in about 90 minutes, then you want to embrace this. You want to embrace this new way of doing things. And the new way of doing things is creating competition, using the internet to create competition before you do anything. That's what this 90-minute car deal checklist is about. That's what the Cars from Home process is about. That's what we're going to be talking about 12:30 weekdays, 12:30s. Again, this is episode 1. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Everybody who has my old cheat sheets, throw them away. We're not using them anymore. This is not about learning. We're done teaching. Now we're leading you along a path. We are done teaching. I thought when I first came to the internet, I said, you know what? We want to turn everybody into car experts. Thank you, Tasha. We want to turn everybody into car experts. And we don't want that. We don't want that. You want to just know how do you get to your car that you want in less time and pay less than everybody. And along the way, you're going to do things in a different order than you've learned. So if you have a replacement car, after you go through your first step, which is buying versus leasing, you're going to use our free 8-year rule calculator. That's going to show some of you should not be purchasing cars based on your lifestyle. You're not keeping them more than 8 years. You're throwing a lot of money out the window by not leasing cars because you only keep your cars when they're really depreciating 10, 20, 30, usually 20% a year. But certain electric cars depreciated over 30% in 1 year. So I gotta say that there are some cars that will depreciate even faster, but you're losing 15 to 20% of your car's value each year for the first 5 to 6 years. If your ownership length is in that, and then you go and replace your car, you're gonna stop doing that. You're gonna stop doing that, and you're gonna stop doing it as soon as you use the 8-year rule calculator, and you see that you could be driving a brand new car for less than what you've been paying for these cars you've been purchasing. Okay, hang on. Okay, so keep typing your questions. I see a lot of questions coming in on TikTok. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. A lot of comments coming in on TikTok. And again, we'll be bringing them onto the screen so I love to see your comments. I love to see everybody's comments. All right. Okay, so let's see. Website. They want me to come in for another car because it has 4 recalls, Ford Escape. Okay, so what you would do is you would call, you would get your payoff, find out how much you owe. Again, we really should take you back to step 1. Find how many years are you going to keep your next car? In fact, let's have everybody answer that in the chat. Whoever's going to be shopping for a car, whether you're shopping for it now or whether you're going to be shopping in, say, the next 6 months. In the next 6 months, how many years are you going to be keeping your next car? Okay, Cynthia said about 4 years. Very important. Again, Cynthia, make sure everybody get your free checklist, your free Cars from Home 90-minute checklist. It's called the Cars from Home 90-minute car deal checklist. This is where you go download it. It's in my TikTok bio at the carsfromhometoolkit.com. Click the picture of me, whether you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or if you're on Instagram or Facebook, click the picture of me, go to my profile. You'll see a website there. It's carsfromhometoolkit.com. Click that link and download your free checklist. And then if you're watching on TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube, we have a pinned comment. Dolan has pinned a comment for you in the chat for you to go and get your Cars from Home checklist, because this is the first step. We got to undo the old way. We're unlearning the old way. We're unlearn the old way of buying cars. Takes a ton of time. It's going to keep giving you all a ton of buyer's remorse, a ton of anxiety. It's just riddled with the 80% of dealers who want you to keep shopping the old way. They love it. They don't want you to change anything. They just want you to keep coming in so they can tell you the best price they can do. They're going to tell you how much they can buy your car for, and they're going to discourage you from shopping around and using any online tools to actually do your deal. They're going to tell you they need you to come in. All of this stuff that is 2006 tactics that continue to work on a lot of people. Okay, so so the first thing we want to do is decide how many years am I keeping the next car. You're going to see that once you open up the checklist, that is the first step. Decide the lease or purchase. Because if you're not keeping your car at least 8 years, I see Cynthia said 4. Tashia said she keeps a long time. She doesn't trade much, but is it more than 8 years? That's the thing. We don't just want to say a long time. How many years? Because some people think 5 years is a long time. You get what I'm saying? Some people think 5 years is a long time, but it is not. As I just told you, many of the times you are just getting started. If you are buying your car and keeping it 5 years, you're still seeing maximum depreciation if you are buying your cars and keeping it 5 years. We don't want that. So you want to decide, but again, use your free 8-year rule calculator we created, and this is the first step, because I'm telling you, no matter how good of a deal the Cars from Home process gets you, if you were supposed to lease but you purchased, you're going to lose all of the money you saved or would have saved when you go to replace the car. You ever notice that when you go to replace your car if you're a 3-year, 4-year, 5-year person, even a 6-year person, you notice when you go to replace your car, it's never worth what you thought it was going to be worth. It's never worth how much you thought you were going to get for it. Why is that? Because in the beginning, you're putting so much money into the car, the payments, the amount of money that has to go in. Tashia says 7 years. Okay. So, but in the first 5 to 6 years, you're changing tires, you're changing brakes every 3-4 years, depending on how much you drive. Your payments are higher. So all of this is it's only worth it if you pay off the car and you keep it a long time, 8, 10, 12 years. So if you are not, the deals that we are getting and have been getting on leases for short-term buyers, those who are not keeping, it is going to continually blow your mind. And again, we're not at that step yet. We're just at step 1, asking ourselves how many years we're keeping the next car. But here's Val. Val got an electric car. She got her payments of 1.16. It's a $51,300 car. So for those who may not know, a $51,300 car, $51,300, and she got her payments, no money down, 1.16. That means she's paying $595 approximately. $595 for a $51,000 car with no money down. $595 for a $51,000 car with no money down. This is, and she look what she said. I appreciate you all as I have never leased before and now feel like an expert. See the transformation? See what she wrote? Val had never leased before, but she did the 8-year rule. She found out she's not keeping the next car at more than 8 years. She should be shopping for a below market lease. The car she ends up getting that. Now, who knows? Okay, remember that we're live. This is episode 1 of Cars from Home. Cars from Home live. Monday, well, let's just call it weekdays, 12:30. And we'll go for today. We're a little late. It's episode 1. But listen, we're happy for those who have joined us here for episode 1. But we will be live weekdays from 12:30. And then we'll rebroadcast the show throughout the day, maybe 3 times. We'll probably do an afternoon replay, an evening replay, and an early morning replay. But we'll be live 12:30s for roughly 2 hours, usually 90 minutes. 90 minutes. We're just, again, we started a little late today. But this is the key. You have a ton of people who've never leased before. Don't worry. We've helped so many people get their first leases. And as you can see, when Val, and I invite you to subscribe on the Deshone the Auto Advisor YouTube. Go and meet us on Facebook, because that's where, although we're live on 4 platforms, that's where you're going to have your best experience at, because you can see the pictures that I'm putting up. If I need to share my screen with you, if I need to show you what a window sticker looks like, if I need to show you what website to go to, you can see all of this when I share my screen on Facebook or YouTube. So again, we'll be live 5 days a week on all 4 of these platforms. But for the best experience, set your alarm, head over to our YouTube channel, subscribe there so you never miss an episode. But again, this is episode 1. So when you look at some of these lease deals, again, like let's look at Glenn. Glenn, the system really worked for me. Picked up my Audi Q8. Now, Audi Q8 is roughly $70,000. Depends on how he got it equipped. Got it at a 1.4% lease when initial quotes were as high as 1.8%. So you'll learn. Now, what is he talking about? What are these lease percentages? Let's go to step 3, deal focus budgeting. Deal focus budgeting. Now, you'll see before dealers send numbers, you need to have a target. This keeps you from reacting emotionally to whatever they offer. Most shoppers let the dealership create the lane. Cars from Home does the opposite. We use calculators first, so you know your ideal payment. Very important. You know your ideal payment. You know your max payment. When's the last time you went shopping and you had your ideal payment, which is a comfortable payment, and then you have a max payment in mind? This is your range. And the deal structure you're willing to accept before a dealer ever gives you their numbers. The right calculator gives you your lane before the dealership tries to create one for you. So now, if you are shopping for a lease, so you've already used the Cars from Home 8-year rule to see that the 8-year rule calculator is going to tell you that you're not a long-term person. You're going to save a whole lot more money with a below market lease. And so you're on a lease path. You open the Cars from Home lease budget calculator, and in 15 seconds you're going to know what a vehicle should cost you. Let's say what is your target monthly payment. Let's throw out some target monthly payments. Anyone in the chat, throw out what a target monthly payment is for you. You might be paying $600 now, and you might say, hey, I want to pay $500. I want to drop my payment. Or you might say, I don't want to pay any more than I'm currently paying. Thank you, Betty Edgemont. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. I see you shared the show. Thank you to everyone who's hitting the share button. Okay, Fine Light has 685, and then Chris said 350. Okay, yep, we'll be bringing all of these. Cynthia said 1,000. Okay, so let's just use Fine Light 685. We type that into the lease budget calculator, and now it's going to tell us that depending on, it says right here, enter your ideal monthly payment and instantly see how much MSRP you can afford. Now, just so you know, the MSRP is this. We look at our sticker price. It's right here on the screen. When you see a brand new car window sticker, the total MSRP is the price that is on the window sticker. So this calculator is going to tell you how much MSRP you can afford. Then you can test any cars MSRP against your budget in seconds. This is the Cars from Home lease budget calculator. So set your target lease budget. We typed in 685. Here are the assumptions. This is what we lock in. This is how we shop. 12,000 miles per year. This can be adjusted later. 24 to 39 month leases. Do not go more than 39 months. That is paying too long for a vehicle you're giving back. Some people take 4-year leases, 3.5-year leases. You're defeating a lot of the purpose of the lease, which is to switch cars, to drive it while it's still under warranty. So if anything breaks, more than likely it's going to be covered to fix. So now you'll see that we have 3 different types of leases reflected in this calculator. We have a steal, which is going to be 1% of the MSRP or less. We have a great value lease, which is going to be 1.25%. And then we have our Cars from Home 1.5% rule, which is the max we ever want to pay. So you'll see at 1%, this is the max MSRP if you can land a steal with both a strong discount from the dealership and a great lease program. That means you can shop for about a $68,000 car with that 685 budget. Now, if you get a great lease, a great value lease, that's going to be your discount is strong. You need a big discount from the winning dealership, and you need a good amount of lease support, which we can't control. So if you're buying a Honda, you're buying a Hyundai, you're buying a Kia, the manufacturer puts the lease program in place. And if that's great, then you're gonna land. You can buy about a $54,000 car. So if I'm you, find like this is about the brand new price I can be looking at, and I usually use the 1.25% rule to determine where I start shopping. So if I'm you, this calculator is telling me you can shop for a vehicle that's about $54,800. If it has a great lease program on it, you'll be able to get that for around your budget with no money down. Now, some vehicles don't have as much lease support. They're going to be closer to 1.5%, and that's going to be about a $45,000 lease MSRP that you can shop for. So I like to find vehicles that have 1% lease deals. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Daddy. Thank you for sharing. Thank you to everyone who's watching. This is episode 1. You're here for our commemorative episode. You should feel very, very special because I believe you are very special. You are here for episode 1, our kickoff episode of Cars from Home Live. So this is how you determine what you're going to go shop for when you are on the lease path. You're going to use the lease budget calculator here. You'll see that all of the actual budgets are reflected here by you just putting in what you want your monthly payment to be. Now, if you dropped it to say Chris said his ideal payment is $350. All right, that's going to tell us we need to be shopping for a car that's between if it has just a good lease program, about $23,000. If it has a great lease program, about $28,000. And if it's a steal, you can get something close to 1%. You can shop for a vehicle that's about $35,000. So that's why with these 90-minute car deals, again, this all works together. You're learning how to make car deals in 90 minutes. First step is to go get your free checklist, the Cars from Home 90-minute car deal checklist. You'll see that you can find out in about 90 minutes what lease deal is on a particular car. If I'm interested in a Hyundai Sonata, I'm going to know in about 90 minutes what's the best deal in my market for a Hyundai Sonata once we create the Cars from Home competition. If the lease deals aren't good, then I'll go shop for a competitor. I might shop for a Kia. I might shop for a Mazda. I'm going to shop for a competitor because if you are leasing, you don't want to fall in love with the car. You listen to this. This is very important. You want to fall in love with the best deal, best value. The car that offers you the best value for your money is what you want to fall in love with, because with a lease, you're driving it for 3 years and then you're going to drop it off and you're going to get something else. Okay. So welcome. Yes. Thank you, Betty Edgemont. Thank you. You're very welcome. And thank you for the good information. Thank you. That is what we're here to do. We'll be streaming on 4 platforms, and we are multiple time weekdays, Monday through Friday at 12:30. So please set your alarms, tell your friends, meet us here every day. until they get their car, and then they don't need to come back unless they just want to listen in and hear about other people saving money. Best value makes sense. Exactly. That's how we look at it with a lease. With a purchase, it's different. Okay? With the purchase, you're keeping your car more than 8 years. You don't need to have a backup as much as you do with a lease. Okay? So, let's see. That's great. So, now, let's pause for a commercial. And let's go to our first sponsor. Okay, again, this is episode 1. We're going to be on for probably another 30 minutes, but let's go to our first sponsor. Maybe another 45 minutes if we get a lot more. If we keep getting comments coming in and questions, then we're going to stay on longer. But the first sponsor of our show is my 90-minute car deal 7-step ebook. The full 7-step ebook you can get at a discount, 75% off. You don't have to. Again, I want to reward you for taking action. You can go to the Cars from Home Toolkit. You can see that it's on promo. This is a short-term welcome promo, and I want you to use it. I want you to have everything laid out for you, and you can start with the checklist. You can start because the checklist is going to. Some of you may get your whole deal done with the checklist because you're going to see, wow, I'm seeing things in here that I absolutely never knew that I should. I never had a path. I never had just a checklist of what I like when I go into the grocery store. I don't forget anything if I have a checklist. So, but for those who want to know the turns, the checklist operates like a GPS. You want the turns, you want all the turns, the websites, go get yourself the 7-step ebook, make your 90-minute car deal in full, and that's in the Cars from Home Toolkit. So this book has helped so many people, and some people will ask, why are you ever going to do a physical book? And I thought about that, but I can't because the websites we use, our whole process is an online process. We are using online websites to create competition. In my book, I have specific email scripts that you just copy and paste and send out to the dealers. In my book, I have links that you click and it opens up where you're supposed to go, the 5 websites you're supposed to go on, or the 8 websites you're supposed to go on. These are things that I could never do in a print book. I have many print books, but it would be ineffective to have an online car shopping process run through a book, okay? A physical book. It has to be a digital book. That's what makes it. That's what makes it where you can get deals done in 90 minutes, okay? So yes. So let's continue. Yosef Dorsey from Instagram. I'm sorry I came in late. Well, it's better late than what is it saying? Never. That's fine. I'm sorry I came in late, so I missed the lease part. I'm in the process of going to get my son a lease car. So where can I get the tips? Okay, well, I just got my daughter a lease. It's her first car. She was 18 at the time. She's been driving me and her mother's truck, so she's been a good, safe driver. But we had a choice. We had to ask, was she going to keep the car more than 8 years? We spoke concerning the 8-year rule. Cars from Home 8-year rule says if you're not keeping your next car at least 8 years, a below market lease is going to save you a lot more money. Now, we also pointed out in our checklist here about our Cars from Home 8-year rule calculator. So you can literally type in your numbers and you can actually see the actual calculator tell you based on your lifestyle which is going to save you the most money. So inside your free checklist, go download it at carsfromhometoolkit.com or in my TikTok bio or in my Instagram bio or in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. Get your checklist. When you get to step 1, you'll see the 8-year rule calculator. And if I would have put my daughter's budget in here, which was at the time she said she could pay $350. She was working. Now, this will tell us that if we got a great lease deal, we could be looking at about a $28,000 car. If we got a steal, we would be looking at roughly a $350 car. But this is going to a $35,000 car. But This tells you the difference in lease deals. But once we put her ideal payment in and hit calculate my 8-year rule, we'll see, we want to scroll down to this table and we'll see over a 3-year period, which one of these scenarios give us the least cost to drive. This is what we're looking for. Which one of these scenarios? So I said, wow, if we got a 1% lease, it's only going to cost her $12,600 to drive over 3 years. If we got a used car, she's going to be at roughly $16,000 over 3 years for the same budget, or roughly $22,000 over 4 years if she bought a new car. So this is going to tell us, when does it make sense to purchase new or to purchase used? You'll see the lease path is going to be the best every time after 3 years. After 6 years, then the used with a loan starts to be closer. But again, it depends on the type of lease scenario. So if we're looking at, when you start shopping for leases the way we shop for them, you're going to have 2 or 3 cars in mind, and you're going to say, whichever one has the best lease deal, I'll take that one, because you're going to be able to get these deals in 60 to 90 minutes. So you're not going to have to spend a lot of time comparing. You might have 3 cars in mind, and you just say, well, whoever has the best lease deal. So now what happens if we get a steal, a 1% lease? Well, even after 6 years, notice my total cost for 2 3-year leases, because you're getting a new vehicle every 3 years with a lease, is $25,200. Meanwhile, if I bought used with a loan, my total cost is slightly under $23,579. And in that scenario, we added $3,000 for maintenance over a 6-year period. So that's going to be replacing tires, replacing brakes. Usually replacing tires and replacing brakes is going to be your long-term, maintenance. So again, I decide maybe I don't want to get my daughter a used car. That's what I did. And why did I make that decision? Because I knew that she was not going to keep this car more than 8 years. So that's why we decided to lease her a car. We got her the Hyundai Kona. She came in way under her budget with the actual on a brand new Hyundai Kona. So again, you're going back and asking yourself, how many years am I keeping the next car? Don't think your child is too young to lease. Sometimes you're going to co-sign for your child. Now, I want to talk co-signing before we actually, and keep typing your questions, because these are the conversations that we're going to be having here on a regular basis. These are the things that are going to, as you go through your checklist, you're not going to have to remember any of this stuff. It's all laid out for you. So you're going to just be checking things off moving forward. You're not going to need to learn. You're just doing. But some people will ask, look, being in the car business since 2006, I left in 2021 to focus on teaching. I saw a lot of bad cosigner stories. I've seen family who co-signed for someone, and that person was destroying their credit, and they thought they started out good and it turned really bad. How do we prevent this, and what is the exception? What is the rule for co-signing? Here's the rule. If you can afford to pay, if the person doesn't pay, then you can co-sign. If you can afford to pay, let me say that again. If you can afford to pay, if the other person does not pay, then you can co-sign. So if you are getting a car for your spouse or your child, and I never recommend anybody outside of them. That's just me. I never recommend anybody outside of them, spouse or your child. Here's the key. If they cannot pay, if they fall on hard times for 3 months, 6 months, can you afford to keep the payment going? Because your credit's going to be affected. If the answer is no, if they stop paying, if they lose their job, then you can't afford to pay the payment, then you do not co-sign under any exceptions. No exceptions. because things happen, life happens, people lose their jobs, and now your credit's being destroyed because this person can't keep up their car payment while they're trying to get their feet back on stable ground. But if you say, yes, I have the money, I'm here to support them in case they fall on hard times, I can make the payment, then you can safely co-sign. And if things get rough, you know, at least your credit is going to be preserved because you're going to make sure it's preserved. That's how you approach it, okay? Download your free car buying. It's called the Cars. This is brand new. Get rid of my cheat sheets. 70,000 people have my cheat sheets, and I want you to completely scrap them. I never want you to open them again. I never want you to open them again. That's why. Oh, we got a lot of likes on TikTok. Thank you very much. I see a lot of people are continuing to share the broadcast. Thank you to Shia for the gifts. Thank you to everyone who's sending stars. I know there's different ways to donate. I appreciate it. I want you to get your free checklist though. That's where you start out. Once you get this free checklist, you've broken the cycle. You've broken the cycle. The Cars from Home 90-minute car deal checklist. A GPS style path to a below market lease, new car, or used car. This is where you break the cycle, because you're going to see this is going to take you through a 7-step journey where why are my pages blank? Oh, no, they were just loading. Sorry. All right, there we go. So this is going to take you through a 7-step journey all the way. It's a 7-step path to the time where you're picking up your car. Okay? So go download it. It's at carsfromhometoolkit.com. It's in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio. You'll see a website there. Dolan also has a comment pinned in the comment section for you, which is carsfromhometoolkit.com. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, go to the comments and go download your Cars from Home Toolkit. Go download your Cars from Home checklist for free. Okay, so Thomas, good to see you, Thomas from TikTok. Your book would have a link to a URL with all the links you need. You can keep the URL up to date. I'm not sure if you were asking, but yes, the book, I always update anything that happens. I'm glad you said that, because another reason why having a digital book is great, because anything that changes in the market, I can just go and update it very quickly. Versus if I was mailing out hundreds of books or thousands of books and something changed in the market. For example, 2 years ago, Vroom went out of business. Vroom used to be a part of our process. We would get bids from them to sell our cars to them. And then when we were shopping for a used car, they were one of the marketplaces that we would shop for inventory on, but they went out of business. I went in, I updated the master file, and immediately Vroom was not there. If we had thousands of books in print, now those books are completely obsolete, or at least that part of the book is obsolete. So yes, we update all the links, and that's why the book continually, this process continually works for people over and over again. You know, and Marie, she got her Mercedes using the book. She got $13,000 off MSRP. She said, I got my payment to be hundreds lower per month and maintenance included with no money down. Just wanted to say thank you. She got a GLC coupe fully loaded. And that was probably the largest discount I saw on that type of vehicle. But she stayed at home. She got bid. She just wanted to say thank you. She used the guide. She saved over $13,000. So that's what I like to see. Keep sending me all of those types of emails and those types of DMs telling me about your deals so we can bring them into the show. What about insurance? What do you recommend? Best rate, best service as someone who's under 25. Okay, Chris just asked from TikTok, what do I recommend for insurance? So we need a system where people can bid. It's insurance. It's the same thing with cars. We don't want to go through the hassle, but we don't realize that if we don't get multiple bids, we're not saving the most money. So at the time of this recording, I know in the past there was two companies, Insurify. I'm not affiliated with either one of them. Insurify, they would give you multiple quotes. And then there was the Jerry app. They would give you multiple quotes. If there's anyone now, because I'm telling you, that's going to be the winner. Mark my words. Mark my words. I'm telling you, the winner, the biggest and best company for insurance for that is going to emerge in the next 5 years are going to be companies that we can put our information in, and it's going to shop us out to 10, 15 insurance companies, 20. Any insurance company that wants to compete, it will put us in front of them. That's going to be the insurance. It's not going to be Geico or Liberty Mutual or Progressive or New Jersey manufacturers, any of that. It's going to be the company that builds the best marketplace for getting quotes. I want to be able to put, and again, check out these two sites. And if y'all find anything, thank you so much to Ski1. Thank you to everybody giving gifts. Make sure you are setting your calendars. Make sure you are here 12:30, Monday through Friday. Tell your friends. The new show. This is the only car show you are ever going to need. I invite you to have the best experience. Watch us on YouTube and Facebook. You might meet us on TikTok or Instagram right now, but you go over to YouTube, you type in Deshone the Auto Advisor, or you go over to Facebook, you type in Deshone the Auto Advisor, so you can actually see all of the actual content we're sharing. You're going to get the best experience. We're vertical. I can't share my screen. You can listen in. You can apply. You can go get your toolkit. There's a lot of stuff you can do if you're discovering us on TikTok or Instagram right now. But if you want to get the best experience out of the show, meet us 12:30 or watch the replays on Facebook or YouTube. So today's episode is episode 1, and it's called Tear Up Deshone's Cheat Sheets. The old way is over. This is now about the 90-minute car deal checklist. That is what this is about now. The 90-minute car deal checklist. This isn't about learning. It's about doing. It's about having a GPS style path. Okay? But that's what's going to be the best. Mark my words. The company that creates a marketplace for insurance. Even if there's 2 or 3 of them, it doesn't have to be one. It could be 3 big companies, and all they do is get multiple insurance companies to bid and submit offers every 6 months. And that'll be the company we'll all be using. I will be using it. I will be telling everybody about it. But until then, it sucks. Shopping for insurance and actually knowing you're saving the most money for your car insurance, knowing you couldn't be paying $100 per month less, that process sucks. You got to manually get offers. That's why I said go check out Insurify and go check out Insurify and Jerry. And if anybody knows any other ones, post them in the chat. If you know any other insurance marketplaces where we put in our name, our info, and then it shops us to multiple insurance companies, 8, 10, I would love that. And it's like energy. It's like an energy ogre for your electric bill. What is that? Oh, wait, I missed your first comment, Ethan. No, that's Tuskegee. Let's pull in Ethan's comment. And then we'll come back to Tuskegee. Hold on, because now Tuskegee just asked about a lease deal for his daughter on a BMW i4. We'll get right back to that. This is what I like, y'all. Let's go. This is the deal clinic now. Let's start. Let's go. Type those questions. You're not going to get the transformation you want being passive. Okay? Ethan, hey man, I'm 19 years old. Welcome. Has his own mobile detailing business. Good to meet you. Wonderful. Where you located at? Ethan, where you located at? You might have some people in your area who want to look you up for mobile detailing. That's a thing. You know, you could sit in that, you could sit in your house, and depending on Ethan's price, he'll come and he'll detail your car while you're at home. You might be, you know, you might be somebody who you don't get out much, you work a lot, and you like the idea of having somebody come and wash your car for you while you're at home. Ethan's in Ohio. You got a website. Now, I'm not endorsing Ethan, but what I'm saying is I do like a 19-year-old who's out there trying to do something for himself. He got his own mobile detailing business. Maybe we could tell our friends about Ethan and see if he's any good. Now you got to be good, Ethan. My best client owns 3 BMW dealerships, but I do have Instagram. Okay, perfect. Y'all check Ethan out. 19 years old. He's in the Ohio area. Listen, this is the type of stuff we're going to do here. This is going to be, I'm so excited for what this show is going to be. Again, y'all, weekdays, 12:30. Everybody who you know. If your coworker says, man, I'm going to be shopping for a car soon. Hey, you got to listen to Cars from Home Live. Weekdays, 12:30. We'll be replaying throughout the day. So we will probably do an afternoon replay, an evening replay, a morning replay. But we are absolutely live weekdays, 12:30. Our afternoon replay may start maybe around 4, you know, something like that. And then maybe we'll do one in the evening around 8 prime time. And then we'll do one in the morning. All right. So let's see. Okay, we got a lot more comments. Hold on. Make me like Morgan. Hey, Dolan. All right, Dolan. We got a lot more comments coming in. Let's go back to, yes, Tuskegee, which wanted to know about his daughter's BMW. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube for those who are watching. You can throw that back up, Dolan. That's the one I wanted. Yeah, you like the hey, Mr. Dr. Daddy said he likes the calculator in the 90-minute checklist. Excellent. Wait till you see that there are like 4 of them in there. Depending on where you're at in the process, we've created 7 Cars from Home calculators, maybe 8 now, and they're along the process. So I'm glad you like them. These are things that I used to take 10 minutes, 20 minutes to teach, that we were able to invent custom calculators for that, you know, reduce the time to 1 minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. So go get your free Cars from Home 90-minute checklist in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, or in my stories, or at carsfromhome.com. Go download your free checklist. Okay, so Tuskegee was talking about his daughter's BMW i4. So let's pull that up. In the Dallas area. So here's what you want to know. If you've already determined that you're going to lease, sorry, y'all. My nose just started itching. Okay. You've already determined you're not a long-term person. You're going to lease. Hopefully, sorry. Okay. Hopefully you've already done step 2, which is your equity assessment. So let's go back to our checklist. You've already determined that you're going to lease. You're a short-term person. You're not keeping your cars 8 years. Now, know your equity position, the current car. Now, in your case, maybe you're in situation 1. You're not replacing a vehicle. You're just adding something to your household. Now you can skip this step, check that off, and you can move to step 3. So just like that, we're at step 3. In a matter of minutes, we're at step 3. Deal-focused budgeting. Now we want to go to the lease type. Because we're on the lease path, we're going to go here. If leasing, hold on. We're going to use the lease budget calculator. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up the lease budget calculator. You're going to see the budget. You're going to see the MSRP. Well, what is your daughter's budget? Comfortable monthly payment, or say you're going to pay it for. Let's say it's $550. Okay, so now you put in the MSRP of the BMW she wants. The sticker price. Again, this is what the sticker price is. You can go to BMW.com. You can configure the car she wants. You can see if she wants this package, premium package, cold weather package. You want to see roundabout what does that sticker price come up to, the total MSRP. You're going to put it here. in the step 2 column of the lease budget calculator, and let's say it comes up to $57,000. You'll see the lease budget calculator is going to tell you, even at a 1% lease, a steal, this vehicle would be $20 above your target of $550. A 1% lease deal is like the moon and the stars lining up. If that still doesn't fit, you're simply looking at the wrong vehicle. Choose a lower MSRP. Okay, this is so important because in a small amount of cases, even with a great lease deal, we're still looking at a vehicle that is above our comfortable budget or even above our max budget. So that's what we're putting in here. Now, let's say you decide, you know what? She can actually spend $800 per month on this BMW. She can spend $800 a month. Now you can see, look, with a 1% steal, you can get that BMW for $570, but with a 1.2%, 1.25%, which is a great value lease, you're coming at $713 a month with no money down. And it says at 1.25, this vehicle would fit your budget, but at the 1.5%, it would be over. So it depends on what lease deal. But this is how we get started. Before we go shop, before we send out emails to dealerships, we need to know the lease budget calculator is going to tell us if we are looking at the right vehicle or the wrong vehicle based on our budget. Okay? So go download your free 90-minute checklist. Your lease budget calculator is in there at step 3. Go get it. It's in my TikTok bio. Click that picture of me. It's in my YouTube bio. It's free. It's in the Facebook comments or the YouTube comments. You can download your free, or you can go to carsfromhometoolkit.com and click send me my free 90-minute checklist. Okay? Do that immediately. It's beautiful. Time, I'm not going to say it's just as important as money, but I'm sure some of you would agree with me. It's just as important as money. If you appreciate saving time as well as money, type $ into the chat. Okay, this one is Yaba Daba Ku Plug. I probably butchered your name from Instagram. I have $10,000 in cash for a used truck. Should I buy flat out or use it as a down payment and get something more expensive? So now let's go back to our checklist, and we're going to now go to the perfect budget calculator. He's talking about purchasing. We are not using our lease budget calculator. We are using the perfect budget calculator. So now this is assuming you've already asked the 8-year rule question. So you are a long-term person keeping 8 or more years. This assumes you have already done your equity assessment on your current car to see if you have positive equity or negative equity, or if it was non-applicable, then you just check that off the list, and if you're not replacing a car, you just go to step 3. So now we're still on budget. It's so important we know what step we're on. And now this is a budget question. So let's look at this. When we see the perfect budget calculator, we open it up and you'll see this is what the perfect budget calculator does. You are now going to be shopping with 2 numbers in mind: comfortable budget, maximum budget. Most people go into the dealership shopping with their maximum budget in mind. And what happens when you go into the dealership and all you're thinking about is your max budget? I can't go over this, can't go over this. All right, I can't spend more than this. If you go in thinking that, what usually happens? You end up spending more than your max. So what the perfect budget calculator is going to do is tell you how to have multiple goals that start at your comfortable goal and move up to your max. So let's look at the fact that you set up to a $10,000 down payment. You want to see how much car you can get. We're going to use the standard interest rate, which Actually, eventually I'll link to a site that gives us the standard interest rate. But let's just say right now it's 7.2 for a used car. Again, it may be lower with just this is just for the sake, and you can put anything in here you want to put. It's just you don't want to be unrealistic. But let's say we put 7.2, and let's put what is a comfortable monthly payment for you. Comfortable monthly payment might be 375 per month. And then you choose your state because the perfect budget calculator already takes into account your state taxes. It already adds $1,000 for motor vehicle fees and documentation fee. So you don't have to worry about getting surprised by those fees that come at the end that you didn't account for, you didn't account for them and they push you over your budget. The perfect budget calculator makes sure that never happens. But you have to choose your state. Let's say you're in Kentucky. And now what's this first question? Enter equity. So after you do your equity assessment, some of you may find out you have up to $3,500 that you're going to make selling your old vehicle. You're going to enter it right in there. Now, if you don't have any equity, no problem. Don't worry. You can just put 0 here. And then you're going to hit calculate budget goals. And you're going to enter a max monthly payment for your 60-month loan. So the first one would be if you took a 72-month loan. Your second one will be if you do a 60-month loan. I'll keep the payment the same, $375. Now here are our 6 budget goals. This is what you want to screenshot. I would immediately screenshot these goals. Just like that. I would be saving them. Why? Because this tells me the price cars that I can go look at. This tells me where my comfortable budget is and where my maximum budget is. It takes into account all fees. So now, if you can find a car that has everything you need and potentially what you want for $15,907, you have bought a car. You can do a 5-year loan. You can use none of your equity, so that $3,500 goes into your bank account, and you can do no down payment. So you can keep your $10,000 in your bank account. But let's say you have to move to goal 2. You can't find any car that is in this $15,907 purchase price. Now you go to your second goal. $18,749. So if you can find a car that is $18,749, if that's the price you can buy it for, you before taxes, again, all the taxes, everything is accounted for. That's the price you want to agree to purchase it for. Now, if you do that, you can do a 6-year loan. You can use none of your equity, and you can do no down payment. So again, you keep the $3,500. And you keep the $10,000 in your bank account. But let's say you look and you're like, Deshone, I don't see anything for my first goal. I don't see anything for my second goal. Now we move to our third goal, which is $19,407. Now, you might be saying to yourself, yeah, I'm going up in budget. Correct. But you are still way below your max budget. Way below your max budget. That is the key. No one is raising your budget but you, and no one is pushing you over your max budget. The perfect budget calculator makes sure this doesn't happen, and this is right inside your Cars from Home 90-minute checklist. So you might look and say, okay, I looked at $22,000. That's my fourth goal. Now, you see a car for $29,407. It has everything you want, everything you need. You snatch it. It's the least price car on the market. Once you get to step 5, you'll see, there's some things we do before we're still in budgeting. But if you can find a car for this, you can do a 5-year loan. You use your equity and your down payment, but you don't have to go with a 6-year loan. So you can pay off the car sooner. You're going to save money that way. But even if the car you end up finding is $32,249, you are still below your max budget. You may be at your max budget, but you're not over. It's still comfortable. You're using your equity, you're using a 6-year loan, and you're using your down payment, your $10,000, not someone else's. You didn't go and snatch up money from a credit card and say, well, let me throw another $2,000 on a credit card. You're using what was comfortable, and you don't have to feel bad about buying for your goal 6 budget. The only thing you feel bad about, and you should, is purchasing at a number higher than goal 6. If you end up getting a $33,000 car, going over your budget, $35,000 purchase price, now that is your own fault. No one can help you. You have now gone over you've gone over from your comfortable goal 1. You've jumped all the way up to your max and you've gone over it. But you're not going to do that. Okay? So that is what you want to do. That is the perfect budget calculator. It's a Cars from Home signature calculator. You can't find it anywhere else. You can't Google it. You can't find any of these calculators anywhere else. The 8-year rule calculator, lease budget calculator, true value discount calculator, all of these are custom intellectual property of Cars from Home. Okay? And you can access those in your free Cars from Home 90-minute checklist. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click that link. Go to carsfromhometoolkit.com or just click the link in the chat if you're on YouTube and Facebook. There's a link in the comments. You can go to carsfromhometoolkit.com and you can grab my free 90-minute deal checklist. Okay, this is very, very exciting. Again, y'all, this is episode 1, Tear Up Deshone's Cheat Sheets. As you can see, I mean, we have, in 4 years, we've had over 70,000 people download my free cheat sheets. And what I saw is I wanted to get rid of them because they taught learning. They got you into reading. You started feeling like, okay, in order to do the Cars from Home system, I'm going to have to learn. I'm going to have a lot of time. All of that is not true. And it was my fault. You know, again, I learned in time that having the checklist, as you can see, as we've talked about on this first episode of Cars from Home Live, weekdays 12:30, meet us here, 12:30 Eastern time. You'll see what we've talked about for the most part on this first episode is our new Cars from Home 90-minute checklist and how different it is from our original cheat sheets. This is the tool that is going to transform how you buy cars. This is the tool that is going to show you that you can pay less than everyone else in about 90 minutes from home without talking to dealers, without negotiating, creating competition. And this is the tool that operates like a GPS. This is the name of the game. You don't have to understand everything about a GPS to get to have it take you where it needs to take you. You don't need to understand all the turns. You don't need to understand all the technology. All you need to do is know where you want to go, what you want your destination to be, and when you put the GPS to work, the GPS is going to do what the GPS is designed to do. That is what the Cars from Home checklist does, and it's just miles. It's just huge, a huge difference. So again, 70,000 of you got the cheat sheets for free. Get rid of them. I prefer for you never to open them again. All right. Igor, good to see you. Spend no more than 10% of your monthly income on a car payment and you will never get in financial trouble. Also, stay away from long-term loans and try not to go over 60 months. Exactly, Igor. That's why in the Cars from Home Perfect Budget Calculator, it defaults to 60 months. In our affordability calculator, we're going to default to 60 months. Many of our calculators don't let you even put in 84 months to get a payment budget because 84 months really show signs of unaffordability. We consider an 84-month loan at Cars from Home to be like the 40-year mortgage. You can get a 40-year mortgage. They're available. Why does no one get them? 30 years is the boiler, that's the foundation. That's custom, that's the standard. If you're getting a 40 or 50-year mortgage, it shows that you really shouldn't be buying that house. And that's how I feel about 84-month loans, God forbid 96-month loans. And now when it comes to 10% of your monthly payment, that may be a good rule for. I don't show people how to allocate how much to spend of their monthly payment on a car. That may be a good thing. That's a conservative thing, 10% of your monthly income, no more than that. But I show people how to make sure that whatever that 10% amount comes out to, let's say it's $550 a month, I need to get the best car, the most value for that $550 a month. Because somebody could say, I don't spend more than $550 a month because that's 10% of my income. But then they go out and they shop like everyone else and they overpay and they don't realize they're paying $550 a month. But if they had created the Cars from Home competition, they could be paying $450 a month. That's the difference. That's what I'm here to do. That's what Cars from Home is about. That's what the process, the Cars from Home 7-step process is about, is making sure that you get the most car and you pay the lowest amount for your money. That's the key. Okay. All right. So we've just hit the 90-minute mark. Listen, that is episode 1. We actually, I want to come back again in a couple hours. I'm going to see if Dolan's up for it. If he is, then we'll come back again about 7 o'clock. But here's the key. We don't want to, nope, actually, we'll need to come maybe about 6. I'm excited. I'm going to go have something to eat. I'm going to get myself cleaned up, change clothes, put on a different unlearn, relearn. And then we're going to do episode 2. And episode 2, just so you know, it's a special episode. It's a special episode. It's 1 and 2 are commemorative. 1 and 2 are commemorative. You don't want to miss episodes 1 and 2. And then you don't want to miss episodes 3 and 4 and 5. But whenever we break the rhythm, I'll tell you during the show that we're breaking the rhythm. If you just jumped on weekdays at 12:30. Weekdays at 12:30 Eastern time. We're here. Weekdays. Set your calendar. Put it on put an alarm. Deshone's live. Bring your questions. Tell your friends, your coworkers. Deshone's live 12:30 on weekdays. But I want to do another show. I want to answer some more questions. We'll catch everybody on the evening before we go into the weekends. And like I said, we will rebroadcast these shows throughout the weekend. So that's the plan. So I want to make sure everybody knows this, right? Can everybody lock this in and confirm? Type 1s in the chat if we're clear. Cars from Home Live airs what time on weekdays? What time on weekdays are we live? Can you come? Type questions back and forth, and we're gonna have deal dialogue. We're gonna talk action steps. What time? What time? 12:30. Where are we live at? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Bring your questions. Now, throughout the day, you couldn't make the show. Deshone, I heard only 10 minutes. I was at work. I caught the last 10 minutes. How can I watch the replay? We're usually going to do 3 replays a day on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can watch the replay on TikTok. So you can go to Facebook or Instagram, watch the replay of what you missed. And then through the weekend, we're going to restream all the shows throughout the week. So if you want to catch up on the weekend, you want to tell some friends, hey, this guy does this show, and he replays them all on the weekend. That's when you can watch the replays. But we are live 12:30s. Meet us here, and we look forward, Dolan and I, and the whole Cars from Home family, we look forward to to you being a part of, like, again, look, Rosalie, 4 cars. Zafrina, 2 cars. This is her second car. First one was a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and she just got a Kia EV9. Look, an incredible lease deal. This is a 0.9% lease, $76,000 vehicle. She got it for 0.9%. If she, these are things but this is her second car. Look at Trey, 3 cars. There are people who have been with us using the Cars from Home process, using the things that we've talked about in this show and the things we will be talking about, using the 7-step GPS path to get cars in 90 minutes from home, and they're on their 3rd and 4th and 5th car. Jeff, look, I think Jeff has the record. Jeff and his wife just got their 5th car using the Cars from Home process, getting cars in 90 minutes from home. Jeff is on his 5th car. And you got to ask yourself, how is Jeff on his 5th car using this 90-minute process, and I'm not even on my 1st? Now, don't beat yourself up too long, but you don't want Jeff to be on his 7th. You don't want Jeff 2 years from now, he's on his 7th car for himself and his family, and you still haven't gotten your first one in 90 minutes. This is what it's about. So start with our free 90-minute checklist. As you can see, the Cars from Home 90-minute deal checklist. You can go to carsfromhome.com, carsfromhometoolkit.com. Again, we'll put that comment up in the chat. You can go to, if you're watching on YouTube, go to carsfromhometoolkit.com, get your free checklist, your free 7-step checklist. If you are watching on TikTok, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, go to the comments. If you are watching on TikTok or Instagram, head to the bio, click the picture of me. There's a website link in the bio. And maybe by the time of this replay, it may be in my stories. You can click my TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram stories, and you can get your free checklist there. Either way, get it. That's where you start. Igor said, I enjoy your content. You're a great guy. Thank you. Great financial car buying teacher. I strongly recommend people to follow you. Thank you, Igor. I appreciate it. We're going to continue to make the best content we can. We're going to continue to give the most value we can. That is the key. And we'll be back later. If you can join me, I'm doing an impromptu episode 2 to end the week. Probably about 6 o'clock. You see me live about 6:30. Jump on. We'll answer some more questions. And then we'll resume, I guess, May 18th, Monday. We'll resume with our episode 3 for at 12:30. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, I'm Deshone the Auto Advisor. I appreciate you all being with us here, Dolan and I, for episode 1 of Cars from Home Live. And I'm excited. This is Cars from Home TV. So we'll take you out with our intro, and we look forward to seeing you on episode 2. Thank you, everyone. Mic is muted. My mic was muted. Sorry about that. Thank you, everyone. We are live on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And so you can start to type your comments if you want to give us a hello. We are live on this Friday, May 15th. Normally, we will be live 12:30 Eastern Time. But because this is episode 2, and I want to, before we go into this weekend, many people are going to be car shopping, want to, as the thumbnail says, slow you down before you sign. You want to be in a position where when you sign, you know you're getting the best deal you could have gotten. Okay, so we are live on 4 platforms, and we are talking about, over this hour, everyone who has my cheat sheets, throw them away. If you have Deshone's cheat sheets, throw them away. We do not want, and I'm going to tell you why it's hard to just kind of put it into just one particular sentence, but over the next 60 minutes, you're going to learn we have a brand new free checklist for you. It is called the Cars from Home 90-Minute Car Deal Checklist. And it is the exact opposite of my cheat sheets. Yeah, C10. We're really live on this Friday. We'll be live now Monday through Friday, weekdays at 12:30 Eastern Time. Meet me live. But we will be rebroadcasting the show throughout the week, throughout the day, afternoon, and evening, rebroadcast in the morning. And then we'll show it a couple times throughout the weekend for everybody who missed it. But if you want to meet us live, we are live right now for episode 2 on this Friday night, 7:13 Eastern Time. And this is what it's about. You want to get your free 90-minute checklist. I've been working on this for about a year. Just first time I'm able to put it out. The cheat sheets have been out for probably 4 years. And we're done with learning. When I wrote that, it was really about learning. And now we are not focused on learning. We're focused on doing. If this is your first time here, please type a 1. I want to acknowledge you. We want to bring up your comments in the chat. If you're watching us and this is your first time ever, please type a 1 or let us know where you're watching from. Thank you so much. How many compressions for CPR can I use? Okay, we got a couple questions coming up. Dolan, can we change the font and the look of that? These comments, I don't like the way they look. Hey, Eric, what's going on? Eric Small on YouTube. Welcome this Friday evening. What's going on, Chrissy? Milwaukee, Wisconsin, checking in on TikTok. Ty Niki, if I mispronounce your name, please forgive me. If we can do anything, can we change that style of that comment, Dolan? I don't really like the way that big block looks. Maybe we can do something a little nicer and friendly on the eye. That looks a little better. Try this now. Pull it up now. As we bring everyone's comments into the show, I want it to look nice. That looks better. Now I do have to tell you, if you are able to, head on over to the Deshone the Auto Advisor YouTube or Facebook. It is a better experience, but we have a good time no matter where we're at. But if you want to see my screen I'm sharing, head on over to TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook, and just type Deshone the Auto Advisor. So, who's shopping for a car now, or you will be in the next 3 to 6 months? Type now, type 1 month, 30 days, type 3 months, 6 months. Let us know who's shopping for a car now, or you will be. I see you, Ava said now. Let us know so I know who we're talking to. Everybody's going to 180 days, about 6 months. Okay, Chrissy, so you're way early. Good. You have time to strategize. But everybody who even if you need a car, let's say in 2 weeks, we can put you on. This is the right path to be on, is to get your free checklist. And the first question we want to ask is, how many years are we keeping your next car? Let's answer that in the chat, please. How many years are we keeping the next car? I see somebody said next week they need a car. Okay, let's 3 years. Chrissy said 3. I want you to not how long. I see TX Joker on YouTube says my lease is up in 3 months. Keep it or turn in for another. Okay, this is good. We got a lot of people chiming in. Frederick on YouTube, TikTok said 4. Okay, 4 years. Now, here's what I want to show you as I share this 8-year, as I share this checklist. Here's the reason why. The first thing we want to do is ask ourselves how many years we're keeping the next car. In the checklist, you'll see step 1 is decide whether to lease or purchase. Now, who was taught never lease a car? Just type me. Again, you're going to unlearn a lot of things, but it's not going to be my opinion. It's not going to be my opinion. Sorry, it's not going to be my opinion. It's going to be numbers. It's going to be numbers. Now, I've been fortunate to be in the car business since 2006. I left in 2021 because I couldn't teach the things I was teaching while I was still in the car dealership. So Eric said he was taught never to lease. If you were taught never to lease or leasing was a waste of money, please type me. I see Chrissy, user 734. All right, again, Dolan's going to put most of your comments that you post. He's going to try to put them up on the screen as you post them. We're live on 4 platforms, so keep posting. Okay, if you were taught never to lease, now we're going to undo this right here because when you get your free checklist is free. You can go to carsfromhometoolkit.com or you can go right to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click that link and then click give my free checklist. And if you're on YouTube or Facebook, Dolan has a comment for you in the comments, carsfromhometoolkit.com. Go get your free checklist. The first thing you're going to do is open up this 8-year rule calculator. Now, this 8-year rule calculator is going to show you the difference in ownership, how much you pay depending on how long you keep your car. So you're going to start here. You're going to either enter the MSRP of the car you're looking for, which is the sticker price. If those of you who don't know, I'm going to put a window sticker up on the screen here. Again, if you're able to join us on YouTube or Facebook, that's going to be the better experience because you can see the screen. You can see my screen share. You can hop right over to YouTube, pull it up on your phone, just type in Deshone the Auto Advisor. You'll see we're live over there. So this is $33,685. So let's pretend that you're looking at this Ford Mustang, $33,685. You will put it right in here into the 8-year rule calculator. Let's just estimate $34,000. And now it's going to tell you, calculate my 8-year rule. Now you'll see your estimated vehicle profile, estimated MSRP is $34,000. Your estimated lease payment would be about $425 per month. Your estimated price if you bought it as a used car is going to be $22,100. Now let's look at what this is going to cost us over a 3-year period. This is what the calculator shows you. Again, the 8-year rule calculator is something we invented at Cars From Home. It's yours free. Hang on, let me turn off my phone, put my phone on Do Not Disturb so I can't get calls. So the 8-year rule calculator is going to show you how much this is really going to cost you. Now notice, over a 3-year period, what wins? The lease wins. You're going to pay $15,300 over 3 years. With a used version, now you can compare new car, buying it brand new with a loan. Oh, sorry, let me take my window sticker down. Okay, now what wins here? The lease. On a lease payment, $425, no money down, you're going to be paying $15,300 over 3 years. Now, thing about a lease is it's hassle-free. It's hassle-free. It's a brand new car. Now let's look at how much we would pay for a new version over 3 years, $22,000. Now, here's what a lot of people don't take into account, which is why I had to make a calculator that would do this for you. You need to see this number here. This number here, it's called the unseen expense, depreciation. So if you buy a car today for, let's call it $35,000, how much is that car going to be worth in a year? If you buy a car today for $35,000, throw out some numbers. How much is that car going to be worth in 1 year? You bought it today for $35,000. Let's throw some numbers in the chat. Dolan will pull them up as you type them. How much is that car going to be worth just 1 year later? This is what we call the unseen expense, and you must account for it. The 8-year rule calculator does. Okay, maybe 28,000, 30,000. You have a car today, you drive it off the lot, it's worth $35,000. Listen, what is that car worth in a year? 22. Now, Lisa, that's steep. That's a steep depreciation to go from 35,000 to 22,000. Now, Lisa's going to get a lot out of this show tonight because she's going to lock in for 20, 30 minutes. She cares about her money. She's not just scrolling. She's locked in. If you lock in for 20 minutes, you'll get the most out of what we're discussing, and you'll be like a lot of the people that are using the Cars from Home process the last 4 years, getting 3, 4, 5 cars, buying them in 90 minutes. That's the key. Saving more money than everybody in 90 minutes, but you got to lock in. Got to block out the distractions for 20 minutes. So now, if you don't take into account the depreciation, you're not taking into account your total cost. So now back to the 8-year rule calculator, you'll see you're going to lose about 17,000 in depreciation buying this car. You are going to, because you're losing 20% the first year on a new car, about 15% the second year, maybe another 15% the third year, another 12% the fourth year. It's going down all the way till about 6 years. That's the reason why when you purchase, you never want to own the car for a short period of time, like 4, 5, 6 years, because that's when you're losing the majority of depreciation. So that's where we would start. You want to see right here. Now, here's the thing. You'll see the calculator shows you every lease is not created equal. I'm driving a $55,000 Infiniti. It's my 6th lease. I've had 6 leases in my life. And it's my most expensive lease, actually, because it's the first time I needed a truck, and it has 3 rows. And it was $55,000. I'm paying $499 a month. I was paying my quote was $512, and I put down like $700 to lower it to $499. No money down, 12,000 miles per year on a $55,000 vehicle. That vehicle would have normally been about $900, $1,000 a month if I wanted to finance it with no money down, but I'm paying half of that. That shows you that every lease is not created equal. So in the lease budget calculator, you'll see that we have something called a steal. Now, when you use the Cars from Home competition, you're going to use your checklist. It's going to walk you through. It gives you a new outcome, a new path. You're going to be able to see things. Like you walk into a grocery store, you have a checklist. You're not going to be just wandering anymore. That's why it's called a GPS style checklist. You're gonna go in, no, this is what I do first, this is what I do second. And part of it is knowing that every lease deal is not created equal. You might get a steal that's going to be 1% of the MSRP, which is what I got. $55,000 car. I got my quote at $512 a month. It was less than 1% of the MSRP. Okay, so this is the beginning of undoing the bad information concerning leasing. Now, leasing is not for everyone. I want to be clear here. That's why the first question I asked you to start this show, episode 2, Friday night, May 15th. You are here for our second episode of Cars from Home Live. You're going to see that in order to get a steal on a lease, you got to get a big discount from the dealership. We do that through competition. We do it while we sit at home. That's what your checklist is going to get you to. And you're going to see that you need to have a great lease program. So we can't control what vehicles have great lease programs. Only the manufacturer knows that. But if you get a deal that has a great lease program, you get a steal. Now that's going to affect your 3-year cost of ownership even more. That's even going to affect your 6-year cost of ownership. So if you type year 6, you'll see over the course of 6 years, look at the difference between getting a brand new car every 3 years. You're going to pay $24,480 over 6 years versus driving a used car, which is going to be about 9 years old at that point, 9 to 10 years old actually, and you're going to have paid about $22,000, almost $23,000 to drive that car for 6 years. So depending on the lease deal you're getting, pay attention to this. You can have a $23,000 investment over 6 years in a used car, or you can have a 480, two brand new cars every 3 years. Most people are going to say, I'd rather two brand new cars if I'm going to spend about the same amount of money. That is what the 8-year rule calculator does. This is how many of you who have purchased your cars, be honest, if you're somebody who you don't keep your cars for 8 years, but you have historically purchased them, not leased, type me in the comments or type ouch. You can type ouch. We're not here to beat you up. We're here to, I was in the business since 2006. If I wasn't in the car business, I wouldn't know these things. If I didn't pay attention when I was in the car business, I wouldn't know these things. So this is not something that the public knows. Thank you, Van Born Neptune, for being honest. So this is, we're live. We are normally going to be live weekdays, 12:30 Eastern time. But this is episode 2. I wanted to do a special show. Me and Dolan, my man Dolan, is behind the scenes pulling up all your comments. Some of you are commenting on Instagram. I see you, Raphael Robinson. Hello, I'm about to go out tomorrow for a car and need help. Why are you going out tomorrow? First thing you need to do tonight is get this free checklist so you can see when you should be going out. There's only 2 reasons to be at the dealership, Raphael. That's to pick up a car or that's to test drive a car. Those are the only 2 reasons. Other than that, you shouldn't be there. What were you going? Now, you said, I want to know from your perspective, what were you going to the dealership tomorrow to accomplish? What were you going to the dealership tomorrow to accomplish? Thank you, Aaron. Good to see you. Wolves and Eagles, a long-time watcher. Well, that's what it said. I see that's what TikTok said. It says you're a long-term watcher. I don't know what that means, but welcome. It's good to have you here on this Friday evening. All right. So what were you going to the dealership tomorrow to accomplish? The first thing you want to do is get your free checklist. Go to carsfromhometoolkit.com. I have a comment for you on YouTube in the comment section or on Facebook in the comment section, or you can keep playing the stream. Click my picture in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio. Go to that link. It says Cars from Home Toolkit and get your checklist. Once you get your checklist, you're going to see what do I do first? Use your 8-year rule calculator and see whether you should be buying or leasing based on your lifestyle. That's going to take you about 2 minutes to do, maybe 3 minutes. Now, once you know whether you're a long-term or short-term person, step 1's done. Now we're going to move to step 2. Here's the equity assessment. This is step 2 in our checklist. See how quick we get through the steps? Step 2 is know your equity position. Now, who has a vehicle that they need to replace? They need to replace. You're getting a new car, but you're going to replace either a lease or you're going to replace either a current car that you own or you're going to replace a car that you finance, you have a loan on. Okay, I see you on TikTok. It's not showing me your name. It just says user and a bunch of numbers. So you're replacing a lease or you're replacing a car you own. If this is you, type me. Now, if this is not you, look, you're just adding a car. Look how quickly you're going to get through these steps. There's only 7. If you are just adding a car, you say, Deshone, no, I'm not replacing a car. I'm getting a new car for my wife or for my daughter or for myself. You can actually check this off. I'm buying or leasing without replacing anything. And you are done with step 2. You are ready to move to step 3 already. So now for those of us who are on step 2, what we're going to do is we're going to determine, do you own or finance your vehicle? If you own it outright, you can go to, you're going to get 5 online cash offers. You're going to get 5 online cash offers. That's going to take you about 20 minutes to do. Put all your information into the cash offer websites, Driveway, Carvana, CarMax. Put all your information in, get your 5 online cash offers. Now, once you get your 5 online cash offers, you can go sell your car to them tomorrow. We do not trade our cars. Only in emergency situations, and only in negative equity situations do we have to trade our car. That's it. If we don't have negative equity, which means when you have negative equity, the value of your car is not worth what you owe on it. If that's not the case, then you are always going to be selling your car to the highest cash bidder. You are not going to be trading in your car. You're not going to get the most money trading in your car. Now, once you actually get your bids, if you have a loan, you can actually talk. You can actually call your bank. If you have a loan, you need to call your bank and ask them, well, how much do you owe? What is your payoff? This is step 2. This is knowing your equity position. You're not going to let a dealer tell you anymore how much your car is worth. You're going to get multiple bids. Again, this takes you about 20 minutes to do using the Cars from Home equity assessment process. So once you know how much you owe, for example, you owe $15,000, your highest bid is worth $19,000, you have $4,000 worth of equity. You can sell your car and put that in your pocket later, or you can use that as a down payment for the next vehicle. But you know your equity position. Done. And the same thing goes with a lease. If you have a lease, you will be returning soon in the next month, 3 months, 6 months. Type me if you have a lease that is going to be up. Again, we are live weekdays, 12:30. You might be watching a replay, but we are live for episode 2 on this Friday night, because we just kicked off our new show, Cars from Home Live, and we want to make sure that you know all through the weekend to set your alarms for Monday at 12:30 to meet us for episode 3 on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. Okay, so hang on. Thank you so much, Miss Tay. Thank you so much. So if you didn't know you could sell a lease, that is something you want to learn it right now. It's easy. It's step 2 in our checklist. You can call your leasing company. You ask them for the payoff. And now, once you have the payoff, that's the amount you would need to buy the vehicle. They're going to usually give you a customer payoff, which is going to include taxes. Most times they won't give you the dealer payoff, but the dealer payoff is sometimes different. It doesn't include taxes, but sometimes it does. It's weird. It's different for every company. So the key is get your payoff. Then you're going to get your 5 cash offers. Once you get your 5 cash offers, you go to these websites, you put all the information in about your car, and you must tell them when they get to the part when they say, is this a lease, owned, or finance? You say owned. You just want to know what the vehicle is worth without giving more information than you need on these websites. Once they give you an offer, now you'll have an equity position. Let's say your lease payoff is $15,000, your highest offer is $18,000. That's $3,000 worth of lease equity, and we've been doing this for more than 4 years. Look, you can look at Rosalie. Rosalie actually used the Cars from Home process. She's on her 4th car. You haven't used it once. I'm hoping you've at least used it once. Maybe you are somebody who's like, Deshone, I used the Cars from Home process back in 2022, 2023, loved it. But if Rosalie is on her 4th car, and she says the cherry on top, she sold 2 leases, 2 2021 Hyundais, and she walked away with $6,737 in equity. That's cash going in her bank account. She drove the vehicles for 3 years. They were her son's vehicles. And then once she was done leasing, she did her equity assessment. She got her highest bids and she sold her car. Now, in our process, you'll see we sell our car after we pick up our new car. We got to find our new car first. But you must know what your equity position is on your current car before you go to step 3. This is step 2. Once you've done that, you can cross off step 2 complete. See how fast we move through these steps? You see why this is called the Cars from Home 90-minute car deal checklist. 90-minute car deal checklist. Car buying should not be taking you 2 days, 3 weeks. It may take you that long to decide, but not to negotiate, not to get the best price. 90 minutes. And if you will start with your checklist here, download your free checklist, you will know very shortly that what I'm telling you is possible for you. Not only has people like Jeff been doing this, and he just got his 5th car using the Cars from Home process. Again, if you are able to, join us on YouTube. That is going to be the best experience, or Facebook, because you can see what I'm sharing on my screen. You can see pictures. But Jeff said me and my wife are graduates again. Every time somebody goes through the Cars from Home 90-minute check, walk-through process, they graduate when they get a car. Look, got a 2026 Honda, $52,000 car, $623 a month, no money down. This is a 1.19% lease. Incredible value, almost a steal on a Honda Pilot. But again, he's been doing this. This is his 5th car from home. We want you to get to your first car, and you will. Thank you, Maria. Just downloaded your checklist. Wonderful. Treat it like a grocery store. You go in with a list. Here's row 1, aisle 1, aisle 2. Next thing you know, you're coming down aisle 7 and you're going to checkout. It's going to be the same thing. Start at step 1, don't skip steps, and you're going to see that you're going to be doing car deals in 90 minutes like everyone else. Okay, for those of you who want your checklist, just go to carsfromhometoolkit.com. The link is posted in my TikTok bio and my Instagram bio. There's a link right there. Just click that picture of me. You'll see a website, Cars from Home Toolkit. Go there and then click get my free checklist. Just give me your first name and your email. I just want to walk you through over the next couple of days how to use the checklist, and you'll see it's going to change your world. And anyone who got my cheat sheets, get rid of them. If you got Deshone, some of you have heard me for 4 years. Deshone's cheat sheets, start with my cheat sheets, download my cheat sheets. No, get rid of them. Never read them again. They were all wrong. And I don't mean wrong. They got a lot of people results, but they taught that this is going to take time. I think when people begin to read the cheat sheets, they were learning some things about leasing. They were learning some things about negative equity, about bad lease deals, about various things, high mileage driving, bad credit. But it made you think, oh, this guy Deshone teaches us a lot about cars. So when we went to the 7-step system, people are coming in, they're getting cars in literally 90 minutes, 2 hours. And that wasn't coming through when people would get the cheat sheets. People would think, wow, this system is going to take a lot of time. I must need a lot of time for this. I'm going to have to no. Meanwhile, we're saving money like people aren't saving. People are coming back using this system 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times for their cars, saving money and time. So it's the best of both worlds. And that's why we had to do away with the cheat sheets totally. They're retired. And we had to move to our Cars from Home 7-step, 90-minute checklist for a below market deal. This is a GPS style path to a below market lease, new car, or used car deal. That is what this is. So go grab your free copy. All right. I see we have a lot of comments coming in. We'll post some of them up on the screen. Maria, or maybe that's Marla. I'll be getting a new vehicle after 13 years. Way to go. And after 13 years, you want to make sure that you have the best experience you ever had. You want to take your time. You'll see as you walk through the checklist, there's no one rushing you. You're able to you're in control. And when you get to the step 4 is called shopping, not buying. This is the step where you can take as much time as you want because you're deciding what you want. I'm going to show you how to do proper 20-minute test drives. how to never talk numbers in the dealership. Again, you should only be in the dealership for 2 reasons: to pick up your car or to or do a test drive. That's it. So you'll see, you want to get you want to enjoy this process. A lot has changed since you got your last car. We have a lot more tools. Many people aren't using them, but if you use them, you will see that you will save more money than you ever saved, and you'll have an incredible experience because you'll be doing this right from the comfort of your home while dealers are competing and fighting to win your business. Okay, Dolan, what else we got? I'm seeing a lot of action happening here on TikTok. Let's pull some of these comments in, but I know we're streaming on Instagram too. I can't see the comments there. Facebook and YouTube as well. Corey Duncan, listen to him, y'all. I got the book. It works. The dealer was baffled with what I knew. I got the best deal. Wonderful. I'm so glad, Corey. Corey, I've been telling people, I just want people to do their first Cars from Home deal. Again, you don't have to be like Zafrina. She's on her second one. You don't have to be, you don't have to be like, Melissa here, second car. Again, we started this in 2021. So people who jumped on the Cars from Home system and Cars from Home process in 2021, they were done going in dealerships, done negotiating. They wanted to start making dealers negotiate with them. They get their first car 2021, 2022. Listen, 2023, they might need another car. 2024, they need another car, second car. 2026, they're on their third, fourth, fifth car, depending on their household. So this is where we are. I'm fortunate that, I've been out here so long that I can confidently say to you, let's get your first deal done. Listen, let's forget about Jeff right now. Let Jeff be your inspiration. 5 years from now, you'll be on your fifth car using this system, never having gone into the dealership. But to test drive. But let's get your first deal, and let's start with your free checklist. Thank you, Corey. All right. Thank you, Deshone. I know a lot has changed since I last got a car. It has. Yes, it has, Marla. Aaron just got a deal for a 26 GLA 250, 536 a month, 12K, 24 months. All right, let's do some quick deal analysis here. So 12,000 miles per year, got a 24-month lease, which is a 2-year lease. That's great. Every manufacturer does not offer 2-year leases. We always shop with a default 3 because that's going to be what most people offer. And then we'll go up to 39 months, but no longer than that. You don't want to do 42 months. You don't want to do 30. You don't want to do 4 years. This is way too long for a vehicle you're going to be giving back. So now let's look. We're paying $536 a month. A GLA is roughly what? About a $42,000 car? What is the GLA come in? It depends on how you got it equipped, but it could be anywhere from 38, 40, something like that. So 536. And what we do, we always shop our leases with no money down. As you use this checklist, you'll see you never need money down. You are always shopping, whether you're purchasing or whether you're leasing, with no money down. That is how you want to budget. And if you're adding money down, it's going to be a bonus later to lower your payment, but it's never a requirement. So 536, we divide that into, say, 40,000. That's going to be about a 1.3% lease. That's really good. If 500 out of pocket, 1.3%, that's great value. So you divide your monthly payment into your sticker price. For those who don't know what the sticker price is, it's the window sticker. I'm putting it up on the screen here for you so you can actually see what the window sticker looks like. It's going to be the bottom line price, total MSRP, including taxes and including destination. So let's say we divide that into 42,000. If the one that she got was, say, a $42,000 one, 536 divided into 42,000, that's going to be about 1.2. So it's a great value either way. The only thing that we don't want to forget is we don't know, was this the best Mercedes-Benz deal out of 25 dealers? Now, you might, if you went in and you negotiated this, did you overpay? Here's the thing. That depends. Did you sign a bad lease deal? Is it over 1.5%? No. It's not a bad lease deal. But is it the best we could have gotten on a GLA? How do we know that? The only way we would know that is to have a competition, something we call the Cars from Home competition. Now, if you want to get competition your own way, you want to call around, that's fine. But in the checklist, you're going to see that we go to the dealers' websites. We tell them what we want. It's going to take us about 20 minutes. This is something we do in step 5. It's going to take us about 25 minutes. About 20 minutes to tell the 25 dealers what we want. We're going to see who has a match, and then we're going to send out a template that's going to give them, it's going to request a quote. We want to get at least 5 quotes, because now out of that 25 dealers, we're going to have one winner. And once we have one winner, we know there was a fight for our business. We know who had a car, who didn't have a car, who didn't respond, because they're the 80%. They're greedy. They're sharks. They shouldn't be in the business. And we're going to have 5 competitive quotes, and we're going to pick the best one. We can go anywhere to service our car. Here's the rule. We buy our car from the person who gives us the best price. We buy our car from the dealership that gives us the best price. We service our car from the dealership that gives us the best service. The dealership that gives us the best service could be right up the road 10 minutes away. But the dealer that's giving us the best price may be an hour away. That's okay. So again, this is it's a great value lease. So you don't have to worry and say, man, I overpaid. I got into a bad lease deal. You didn't get into a bad lease deal. It's a great value lease. Depending on the MSRP of the car, you're between 1.2 and 1.3 something percent. That's a great value lease. In order for you to now answer the second question, which you want to for moving forward, even, you might not be able to answer it with this car deal because this car deal is done. But moving forward, you want to say, was this the best I could have gotten? Was there a 1.1% lease out there for this same car? We don't know. Only way we find out is through competition. Okay, that's step 5 in the checklist. Start with your checklist and you'll see exactly dealership with the best service, Marla. Many people will say, because we buy cars from an hour away, 45 minutes away, that might be who gives you your best deal sometimes. It's the dealer that's an hour and a half away because they never expected to hear from you, but they happen to have a car that's an exact match. So when they go out and make you a great offer, you go pick it up. You don't need to service the car there. You go pick up your car from the dealership that gives you the best price. You can service it right up the road from you. You service it at where it's the most convenient and where you get the best service. 2 different things. So start with your free checklist. Start with the Cars from Home 90-minute car deal checklist, because this is going to walk you through what the journey looks like. You're going to see what it's like having a checklist of things before, and some of you are going to be on step 3 in 10 minutes. Some of you, by the time you start step 1, you open your 8-year rule calculator. You're going to be done with that in less than 5 minutes. You're going to move on to step 2. Some of you don't have a car you're replacing. You're just adding a car. You're going to check that off, move on to step 3. Then you're going to do your deal-focused budgeting, find out how much the lease or the purchase car you should be looking for. You're going to find out what you can spend using your purchase calculator. You're going to check that off, and you're going to be on step 4 in literally 15 minutes. That's how quick you can move through these steps. That's why it's the 90-minute checklist. Okay, so make sure you go get yours. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, Dolan has a comment pinned for you. And if you're watching on TikTok and Instagram, you're going to head to my Instagram bio or my TikTok bio, click the picture of me and click that website, and then get your free checklist there. We are live. Normally, we'll be live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 12:30. But this is episode 2. We're doing something special on this Friday night. We'll be live for about another, let's call it about another 15 minutes. Yep, about another 15 minutes. Just to let you know, we'll be answering as many questions as we can for the rest of the 15 minutes and telling you, tell your friends, set your alarms, join us Monday, 12:30 Eastern time, and we'll be answering more questions on Cars from Home Live. Again, I'm Deshone the Auto Advisor. For the best experience, head to Facebook and head to YouTube, because you can see what I'm sharing. You can see the pictures I'm sharing. You can see my screen I'm sharing. and you can, it's just going to be the best experience. Again, if you're meeting us on TikTok, you're meeting us on Instagram, welcome. But if you want the best experience, head on over. And if you want to watch some of the replays of the episodes, you might want to binge the episodes over the weekend. Head on over to Facebook or YouTube for the archives. All right, what else we got, Dolan? I'm seeing still a lot of comments. I don't think we're going to be able to get through many of them. 61 years old. Do I buy or lease? Wanda, how many years are you keeping the next car? How many years are you keeping the next car? Your next car, Wanda, I'm going to show you that your next car has nothing to do with your age. In fact, if you're not keeping your car more than 8 years, this may be your first lease. There's plenty of people that we've walked through their first lease, because once they decide they're not going to keep their car 8 years, they're going to end up leasing, and maybe they never leased before. So don't worry about, look at Val. Val, $51,000 electric car. She got a 1.1% lease. And look what she said. I appreciate you all, as I have never leased before and now feel like an expert. By the time you get through your checklist and you complete step 7, you're picking up your car, you are going to feel like an expert, even if you've never leased before. But the question is, how many years are you keeping your next car, Val? Oh, Wanda, not Val. More realistically, more than 8 or less than 8. That's what we need to know. You have a 2007. Wanda says she has a 2007 now and a 2014. I usually keep cars. So then if you're going to, that doesn't mean you're keeping the next car for another 8 or 10 years. So even though that's been the history, is that something you're good with, or is that something you want to change? Some people say, I don't want to keep cars that long anymore because cars are changing, a lot of computers, technology's changing. Maybe that's you, maybe that's not you. Maybe you're saying, Deshone, I want to keep this car again another 10, 12 years. That's the case. Forget about leasing. The goal is to find a below market purchase, either new or pre-owned. Now, how do we determine new or pre-owned? Well, we're going to go right here. Let's say, Wanda, you just did step 1. We just walked Wanda through step 1. Decide whether she's going to lease or purchase. She says, I'm keeping this car more than 8 years, so I'm not going to lease. I'm going to win with long-term ownership. Oh, and she says she always buys pre-owned. So Wanda is somebody who really likes to get the most value when she purchases a car. So check this out. So what we would do here is she would take her old cars. Unless she's keeping them, she would do her equity assessment. She probably owns them outright. So she's just going to take 15 minutes and get 5 cash offers to find out who's going to be the highest bidder. She's going to go on CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book cash offer, Car Gurus, We Buy Any Car. She's going to get 5 cash offers, and then she's going to move to step 3 now, and she's going to see how much can she afford using her perfect budget calculator. This is the Cars from Home perfect budget calculator. All she's going to do is put in how much equity she's getting from her old car. Let's say she's getting $3,000 when she sells her old car. She's going to put in her max down payment. This is not a comfortable. This is if I had to. If I had to. Now, somebody might put 0. You might put 0, but we're asking the max so that we know internally what we can afford. So let's say we say, all right, if I had to, I could put $2,500 down. Now you're going to throw in an average interest rate. Throw in an average interest rate of about 5.9. Now you want to be conservative. And actually what I'm going to do soon is I'm just going to link you to the average interest rate for a new car or a used car, depending on credit. It's very easy. I actually have it on one of my other calculators. So when you see it, the reason why we don't do pre-approvals is because all we need right now is a budget to see what we can afford. We don't need the bank to tell us, get involved and run our credit. We don't need any of this. Never get a pre-approval from the bank that wants to run your credit before you have even figured out how much you can spend and all of that. Nope, never do it. You're going to come right here. You put in the average. Let's use 6.9 for a pre-owned car. And then you put in what's a max payment you're comfortable with. What's your max monthly payment you're comfortable with? You might say, all right, I could afford $375 per month. $375 per month. Now you pick your state, because in the Cars from Home Perfect Budget Calculator, we've already filled in your tax rates depending on what state you're in. Some states have no tax, some states have high sales tax. You pick your state, and now you're going to hit calculate budget goals. It's going to ask you one more time for your max payment if you went with a 60-month loan, which is a 5-year loan. You might say, all right, I'm going to put the same thing there, $375. Now you hit OK, and it's going to calculate your goals. Again, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can see this. If you're on TikTok and you really want the best experience, head on over to YouTube so you can see the screen I'm sharing, and just type in Deshone the Auto Advisor, same channel, but we'll type it in on YouTube. You can also do it on Facebook. Both of those you can see my screen. I'm actually sharing my screen on YouTube too, but on Instagram too, but I think it's a little wider on the others. So what do we have here now? This is what you have, Wanda. This is why you want to go get your free checklist immediately, because in that free checklist, you have the 8-year rule calculator. You have the lease budget calculator. You have the perfect budget calculator. Now, what does the perfect budget calculator give you? 6 goals. It says if you find a car for $16,500, you can do a no money down, no equity down, 5-year loan deal. If you find a car for $19,400, you can do a 6-year loan, no money down, using none of your equity. So you can keep your $3,000 of equity. You can keep your $2,500 down. You find a car in this price range. Now, if you find a car in this price range, you could do a 5-year loan, use only your equity, but you're still keeping your down payment of $2,500 to yourself. Now, if you go to goal 4, $22,000. Goal 5, $22,000. This is with a 5-year loan, using equity and using your down payment. Now, it goes all the way up to your 6th goal, which is your max payment. When I was in the dealership, I watched so many people get in trouble because you came in with your max budget in mind. Your max budget in mind. You cannot shop with your max in mind. Why? Because every time you shop with your max in mind, you're going to go over it. You come in, you say what? I don't want to spend any more than $475. $475. I don't want to spend any more than $475. What do you leave spending? Put some numbers in the chat so no one thinks that I'm just making this stuff up. You go in saying, I don't want to spend more than $475. What do you come out spending? Thank you, Marla. $575. Look, $525, Guillermo said. Exactly. You come in, you're like, I didn't want to go over $475, $475, $475. You leave at $525, and you say, I don't want to spend more than $475 with no more than $1,500 down. That's it. That's all I'm doing. The reason why that's a losing recipe is because you're going in shopping with your max in mind. When you use your perfect budget calculator, the perfect budget calculator is giving you all the budgets for the cars you can afford. So that means if you see a car and you ask them, how much are you asking for this car? You see it online, you see it anywhere. It says $19,400. You know, you can afford that. I can buy that car and I can do a 6-year loan, no money down. You see a car and you're like, okay, the price is $24,000. Well, that's within my budget. $24,000 is within my budget. I can do it with a 6-year loan, and I can use my equity and my down payment, but I'm still under my max budget. That is the key. You never want to be over your max budget. Whenever you purchase anything and you have gone from your comfortable budget to your max budget and you are now over your max, you did not have any discipline. You had no discipline, no system. Anytime you spend more than your max, you've had no discipline, no system. But using the Cars from Home Perfect Budget Calculator, and this is step 3, which is deal-focused budgeting, you are never going to be pushed over your max again. You might end up buying cars way below your max budget. So download your free checklist. It is in the Cars from Home Toolkit. I have a link on YouTube in the comments, Facebook in the comments for you. And then you can get your free toolkit. If you're on TikTok or Instagram, you can get it in my bio. Click that link and you can actually go to my bio. And actually, I'm going to put it in my stories too. So if you're on, if you give me till tomorrow, today's Friday, but if you give me till tomorrow, we'll be replaying this throughout the weekend. We'll be replaying episode 1, which we shot earlier, and we'll be replaying episode 2, which we're recording now on this Friday night. But we'll get that in the stories for you. So go get your free checklist, change your life. 90-minute car deal checklist. Okay, what else we got? We got about another 5 minutes. We might have time for 2 more questions before we close out. All right. Which ones are we going to select? All right. Thank you, Marla, setting her alarm. Okay. Can we break down a below market lease deal? So a below market lease deal. First of all, a below market any deal, whether you're purchasing or leasing, means you have seen enough offers to know what the market prices are and what the above market prices are. There's 3 types of prices: below market, market value, and above market value. In order to know you are getting a below market price, you have to see enough offers. So you have to see enough competition so you can see, this is what I paid. This is what some people, this was the second highest, which was maybe, 2,000-3,000 more, maybe 70-80 bucks a month more than I paid. And then you have the people who are paying above market value. They're paying 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. These are the dealerships that are what we call the 80%. They're making, they want to sell to people who come into the dealership. They don't want to sell online because the people who come into the dealership pay them $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 more. There's no competition for them. These are the 80%. So in order to know that you got a below market deal, you're going to shop all your offers with no money down. We show you how to do that when you get to step 5 in your checklist and you are actually talking to dealers. You're going to see you structure all your leases with no money down. All the taxes and fees go into the payment. You're going to do 12,000 miles per year. You can adjust this later. So if you need 20,000 miles, you can adjust it, but you have to find the winner of the bid first. Before you adjust the mileage, you find the winner of the bid, and then you tell them to include gap insurance. So when you get all your offers, you're getting your offers with no money down in that format, and that's how you're comparing them. Because every time you divide your monthly payment into your MSRP sticker price, it's going to come out with a percentage. And this is what we talked about earlier in the show, the lease budget calculator. You can see some leases are going to be 1% leases. Some leases are going to be 1.25% leases. Some are going to be 1.5% leases based on percentages. The lower percentage, the more discount, and the more the lower the better the deal is. So when you're comparing lease prices, you're really only comparing percentages. This dealer made me a 1.1% offer, I took it. This dealer made me a 1.2. This dealer made me 1.3. And inside the Cars from Home system, we actually have a calculator that you put all your offers in, and it actually tells you what to counter offer, because you never want to accept an offer without counter offering to see if there's anything better. So much of the reason why we're able to do deals in 90 minutes is because a lot of the things that I used to teach that took 15 or 20 minutes, I invented calculators for, and it now does them in 3 minutes or less. So that cut that cut a huge amount of time. We have 7 or 8 calculators, I think 8 now, throughout our Cars from Home 7-step process that just does things for us that used to be manual. So that's how you get a below market lease. Offers from home, looking at enough offers to see the 1.1 that you're going to accept, to see the 1.3s that you didn't accept, and then to see the 1.4s, the 1.5s that the 80% dealers are throwing out there that they're selling to the people and offering to the people who are coming in. Okay, so go grab your free Cars from Home 90-minute checklist. I've been wanting to put this out for about a year now. Get rid of the cheat sheets. If you have my cheat sheets, never open them again. This is an entirely different system. It is all about crossing things off and getting to the end of your 7 steps with your checklist crossed off, making sure everything was done, and it's beautiful. It's like I'm so glad to be able to put this out. So it's in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio. It's also in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. And you can also go to carsfromhometoolkit.com and get your free checklist on this Friday night. So we'll be replaying the show throughout the weekend. Very, very excited. Make sure you tell your friends. This is Cars from Home Live. We will do many things here. Weekdays at 12:30 Eastern Time. Depending on where you're watching from, adjust your time, but it is 12:30 Eastern Time. We'll be live on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, so you can listen in from anywhere. But again, I'll continue to say, if you want the best experience, you may discover us on TikTok. You might discover me on YouTube, on Instagram, but on TikTok, we're just able to share a whole lot more, like sharing my screen and, various things that I think it'll be beneficial for you to see versus looking at me for, 60 or 90 minutes, even though we have a nice background and, we're unlearning and we're relearning. That's where you want to get your best experience. So that's your checklist. I'm happy to jump on this Friday night. I didn't know how many people would be able to join us, but enough of you joined us to make for a good hour show. Again, we'll be back Monday, which I believe is May 18th? Monday's the 18th. Somebody let me know. And everybody who's in the market for a car, if you're going to be buying a car now, if you need a car by like next week, or you need a car by in the next 30 days, 60 days, you're going to have a very precise, easy plan to follow. You're no longer going to be winging the car buying process. You're going to be empowered. You're going to be in control, and you're going to be the prize. If you were going out to spend $30,000 in the mall, how would you want to be treated? If you were going into the mall and you knew that you were about to make a $30,000 decision, how would you want to be treated? You would probably want them rolling out the red carpet. You would probably want them bringing out the red velvet ropes, champagne. You certainly wouldn't want them rushing you. You might want to come back 3 and 4 times. You will want to feel like you are important. And that's the same thing with your car purchase or your lease. You're about to make a $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 decision. You should feel like the market is fighting for you. It's fighting to get you to bring that $50,000 decision to them. It's fighting for you. For you. You want to feel like when the person who you give your business to, they earned it. They beat all the other dealers in your state to win your business, and that's why you're going with them. That's what the Cars from Home 90-minute deal checklist is going to give you. It's going to give you that predictability, and you'll just see everything's a competition. From us getting our loan, we're making banks and credit unions compete. From us selling our car, we don't trade, we're making cash buyers compete. To us picking up a new car, we're making new car dealers compete. To us getting a used car, we're making the marketplaces compete to find the best car with the biggest discount. Either way, it's a competition. Marla said, I feel super empowered with next car purchase or maybe first lease. Wonderful. And I'm so glad to hear that. Again, it's not about everybody leasing. As we close, What the people who we want to be leasing are the people who should have been leasing from the start. You do not buy your cars and keep them more than 8 years. You keep your cars 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, but you tie up all this money and you don't see much in return for it on the back end. You could be driving better cars for less. But if you are an 8-year, 10-year, 12-year person, that's going to be your next car. You're going to go for it again, another decade. No need to think about a below market lease. You're going to be walking the path to a below market purchase, be it a new one or a used one. Okay, so head to my TikTok. You'll see, we'll put the comment up in the, okay, Jay Blizz, I'm sorry. Hold on, you caught me just in time. But I was just about to jump off. Just get your checklist. Start with your checklist. You'll see it right here. Go to carsfromhometoolkit.com. It's posted in the YouTube comments. It's posted in the Facebook comments. Go get to your checklist. That's step 2. It takes 20 minutes. 20 minutes, and if you're like Rosalie, or if you're like some of the people who sold their leases or sold their cars and made a good amount of money, that 20 minutes could net you $1,000, $3,000. So just start with your free checklist. And if you're watching on Instagram or Facebook, on Instagram or TikTok, you want to click that picture of me if you can see it. It's going to pull up my bio. You'll see a website there, Cars from Home Toolkit, and go download your 90-minute checklist. That's where you want to be at. Once you do that, you are already above and beyond 95% of people shopping for cars, because they have no plan, no strategy. They're going to feel their way through the transaction. They're going to probably see what one dealer can do, maybe 2. They're going to drive to that dealer, try to put them against each other. They're going to do max 2 dealers before they get tired, and they've already put 3 hours, 5 hours into the transaction. We won't even be 90 minutes into the transaction, and we'll have a lot more dealers competing. All right. So we're back Monday. Set your alarms. Episode 3. Episode 3. This is Cars from Home Live, episode 2. I'm happy to be here. Tear up my cheat sheets. If you have them, never read them again. Use the checklist only. We'll be back weekdays at 12:30. Tell everyone you know, everyone who's looking for a car, you got to come meet this guy at 12:30 weekdays, Eastern time. He's going to answer any question you have, any question we ask. Nothing's off limits. And he's going to make sure that you have a plan for success to do things easy, quick, fast, save all the money, pay less than everyone. That is what we do here. I'm Deshone the Auto Advisor, and this has been Cars from Home Live. See you Monday, 12:30 Eastern time.